Sydney, I would have thought when we see the Brownlow medal night, he's dynamic. Obviously, he can start on the inside, been out in the wing at times, off half forward, but he's one that the Suns really need to watch because of his ability to hit the goal, hit the scoreboard. 26 disposals and 3 goals it was, Brownie, you're right. No, Rayner was pretty good as well. Here they go again. Neil. Look at the balance and the poise and the strength. Back to Pryor. Puts it out wide, makes it tough for Fletcher. I mean, he was close, he does well. Hewland, Lohman. Close, he squeezes the kick. Brains there, but he lets it bounce for Zorko. Steadies. Lohman assesses the option, then dabs it right out in front of Joe. He comes out smoking. Yeah, it's a great lead there. Good setup, Jared, because they're all connected there. This is the problem with the Gold Coast Suns. All Brisbane forwards are working together. They drag their opponents back to open up the space for Joe Danaher.
This wind, Brownie, is coming straight down the middle, going to the right of screen. So if you just put it to this left-hand goalpost, just seeing Collins there as well. He's just saying he copped one in the chin on that lead, so I wasn't happy.
He's been in great goal-kicking form since the bye. 17 goals in there, 7 wins. That one's going to be pushed right across the face and clatters into the point post. And the bearded Collins happy to let him know all about it. He loves the competition, Sam Collins.
Well, he's dirty about that little whack in the chin that he reckons he got, Kel, so just let him know about it.
It's just haven't been able to get hold of the footy just yet. Mac Andrews, quiet day last week. He'll be looking forward to a much better afternoon.
Andrew wide. King came up to make a contest. The inside handoff was terrible. Graham cut her off and they're out. Johnston sized them up long, went short for long instead of going long.
Well, fundamental skill errors cost you. In a professional era, those handballs shouldn't be going to ground. It was just a 3-metre handball. And they are costly. Have a look at this. There's no real pressure. Gee, that's horrible.
How's he feeling now, Jared?
He'll be hoping and praying, Brownie, that this one goes the other side of the big sticks.
Suns can still have their best season, even if they miss the finals this year. A lot on offer, and long and nerve settling.
He's had a very good start to his career, Shadow Brian, but unfortunately this wasn't one of his better moments. But the transition, well, it was a wobbly one off the boot, but he got it there. But the finish was absolutely what the Gold Coast required.
Is that what you call a brain fade?
No, that'll do. I like it, Kel.
He's able to soak up that pressure, go back Ben on.
Yep.
Pressure his team on his shoulders and kick really. Didn't overkick it. Pretty good season.
Yeah,
leads for marks inside 50 this season. He's been that pseudo-key forward target for them down there, supporting Ben King.
Didn't kick a goal last year, Brownie, in his 15 games. He's got 20 to his name so far this season. Moyle into the run. Bailey tackled to the turf by Swallow. Holman's there. Little give and go with Flanders. Puts it out in front of Johnston and over his head.
Dane Zorko getting plenty of touch again. He's had 6 kicks already going at 100%. Remember, he had 40 disposals back in round 8 against the Suns, and he was allowed to run around his own. His opponent is Roses, so it'll be an interesting watch just for Roses, obviously trying to get his positioning right.
Moyle, McInerney. Big O, got it down to Dunkley. Ashcroft, Wobbler. Good mark taken by Hewland, really growing as a player. And his delivery's normally pretty good. He finds Weller. Looks inside, he goes wider than that, perhaps a little wider than he intended. Ballard was there, but it went to Collins. And blasts it into some space. Lukosius with a few to beat. Good hand of Lester, knocked it down to Zorko, wrapped up by Rowell, who almost loves to tackle as much as he loves a goal. Most tackles in the AFL again this season so far, Matty Rowell.
McInerney, Swallow, tries to barge his way through. Bailey's got him.
Yeah, McCluggey's got the back of Rowell's head in his nose. No blood drawn.
Moyle slaps it down. McCluggage is there. Off to Ashcroft. Like his 5th game back from that knee reconstruction. The youngsters combine. Lohman, Fletcher. Now here's a chance. Look at that delivery from the young gun in Logan Morris. Gets it back to Ashcroft, wheels one way, tries to get around Collins, handball to Danaher. Was the old-fashioned hospital handball, and Andrews swallows him up.
Yeah, better from Big Mac Andrew. Good pressure, hospital handball, wasn't going anywhere, but the Big O, he was the one that released it with that lethal left hand.
Mac Andrew began the season in the reserves, had to earn his spot under Damien Hardwick. Eric Hipwood again just pumps it wide. Not the delivery that he'd probably like if he was playing forward. Logan Morris takes it out.
Yeah, deliberately took that out, which was silly because he had a couple of metres. He could have swung back in. He's usually a pretty cool, calm and collected young kid.
You know what the directive is sometimes from the organiser, a ball in. Moyle, front spot. He had the right spot. Against him in the ruck was Henry Smith with the inexperience in game 2. And again, they thump it out as if the plan is we don't mind a ball in or take the throw in because we've got the experience normally when Oscar McInerney's rucking, but he's not in the ruck at the moment.
Zulko off the ground at the moment, as you said, Brownie. He's probably getting treatment for leather poisoning.
Yes. You mentioned the 40 disposals in round 8 when they won. 35 were kicks.
He nearly broke the record, Cal.
Yep, he nearly did. Another missed handball here. Opens the door for Fletcher from the lines. Loman fighting and scrapping. This little hip and shoulder bump there applied by Bailey, and Dunkley sees it over.
And Brownie Bailey slowly starting to find that incredible form that he had last year. Much better last week. Still looking for his best.
Yeah, that's right. Looking for the four-quarter performance, but he's that X-Factor type player, along with Cam Rayner, Cam Rayner's been in very good form the last few weeks.
Wits. With their captain back, of course. There's no Toot Miller, still out with a broken wrist, and that just lands in the lap of Andrew.
Yeah, just playing that extra behind the ball when the stoppage is so close to the goal, and Mac Andrew is a classic to have behind the ball because he's so good in the air and great on the ground.
Charlie Ballard looked inside for a second. He kicks inside. It's the last ditch effort to try and find a target, and he does. Brilliant grab by Graham. About to send them forward.
I like the look at Will Graham. He's had a good first year, Dwayne.
Yeah, Suns Academy, Palm Beach, Currumbin. Yet another from that footy factory, Brownie.
So it is a footy factory.
Humphrey inside to King.
Well, another mistake from young Shadow Bryan. Not punching the ball away, got outmarked in front, and that's turned into another shot at goal for Ben King on the lead.
So, what's going through his mind here? He knows, but he's got to try and put it out of his mind that he kicked 0-4 last week and started with a horror this week.
Blake's got to go forward.
Not sit back on the couch. Yell it out, Brownie. Might hear you because he needs your advice. He's lucky to have even scored
On a
there.
lazy Susan there, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. He's sitting down beside Merge, but this is part of your progression as your maturity as a key position forward or a goal kicker. You need to have a good understanding of your goal kicking technique and what goes wrong when it does, and correct it on the run. And he hasn't been able to correct it now for a while.
Good ball movement here by the goal.
Wilmot started it, and he's been run down trying to burst through the corridor by Humphrey.
That's good stuff from Humphrey. He's really looking and working hard to try and find his best.
He's showed glimpses, hasn't he, this year, Jared? But he's yet to have a real breakout game. It says a lot about him as a player that Damien Hardwick stuck with him.
Yep, he's had him on the bench a few times as sub, but he's looking for that breakout game, as you said. It's a tough role playing sort of high half forward. I hope he gets a bit more midfield time.
Rao goes in the direction looking for Lukosius, but Hipwood winding back the clock to the under-18s years where he played a key defender, and Mac Andrews given away a 50 here. You could hear the umpire clearly say stand. He didn't. Berry's off. Jared Berry. Can he catch the Suns defenders napping? Slips through the hands of Danaher. It's a push out. It'll be a free kick to Joe.
Yeah, it was. Hilton Craig's in a good position there. The umpire was all over that, though. So Sam Collins just lost position. So Joe had done a good job of running back towards goal, so Collins couldn't keep his eye on the ball, and then he just lost track of Joe Danaher there late.
That was the smart work from Barry to just draw that 50. Knew exactly what he was doing and then just took off, put him under enormous pressure.
Well, you can see there his front on contact as much as pushing the back, so he might get 2 kicks.
Kicked the first 2 this afternoon, did the visitors from up the highway, the Brisbane Lions. And that has hit the post. Well, the 2 key forwards, the bookends at either end, are kicking with tension, looking a little wobbly at the moment. The radar is off for Danaher and King down the other end.
He came in with 37-34 as Andrew flies. Super Mac got up there and took another one. He's looking better with each passing minute of his career. The King, who marks it just inside the line, wants to play on quickly, floats it. Couple of options. Anderson had some help outside. Roses back in. Not high, not ball. It is one of the 2. Had to be ball.
Brandon Starcevich did brilliantly there. He held his man, and then as soon as he saw him fumble a little bit, he came charging forward and put him under the pump.
Starcevich to Wilmot.
That's where the Suns have got to be tight here with their defence. Brisbane will try and pick their way through with uncontested mark. Best in the competition at doing this.
Zorko tried to get the man on the mark to bite again and steal a 50. Bailey holds it up. Big crowd in here for Q-Class 27. Great atmosphere. Place is rocking early. Up flies Cam Rayner, can't mark it. Holman, Swallow, Jeffrey, Anderson, back to Jeffrey, caught, slung, dunk, got it away in time. Graham turned outside, Rao, Lukosius, they just need to finish, it'll come back, not enough.
Yeah, ball movement really good by hand there by the Suns. Young Graham, he looks a star. He looked inside, then went out.
Lester flicks it wide to McCluggage. Short to Archie, the match winner against the Swans last week. Of course, a former Suns player. 45 games in his 4 years at Carrara. Looking for Rayner, who's usually strong in the air. Wants to get Ewan know about it as well. Centering kick, Bailey can go, and he does. He explodes from 50 and he shakes the kick.
Well, it's exciting up until the kick. Looks like David Swallow's running with Lachie Neale, even if he's not going head-to-head with him at the stoppage.
Wide. Well, poke pass is nice, so they've opened it up to the coaches.
Just so everyone knows, Pipe, it is very nice conditions here, by the way.
Absolutely it is.
Oh, and again.
Starcevich captures it. It's almost as if when they have the shot at goal, it's one of those plastic footies from the service station. Mac Andrew chips it, cut off by Zorko. Just went and got it. Again wants a 50. Pumps it long, hoping for a leaper. Collins, front spot. Happy to take the share and end the heat.
Not sure what it is about this round of footy, but there's been more turnovers by foot than any other week I've seen this year, and a couple of shockers there, one from Starcevich.
So now the Suns have the opportunity. Scott's Lukosius, who's usually a beautiful kick. He set it up for King. Slipped through his fingers and rolls over.
He just didn't make early enough contact there, Ben King, on Hipper. Hipper was caught out a long way in front of him, tried to rush back. Just a bit of body craft there from Ben King.
I could see him just jump at it, Brownie.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, launch. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Hipwood play from behind. I just don't think he's experienced enough to be trying to be assertive.
Wits.
He's in trouble, yeah.
King flicked out. Ashcroft playing in front and winning the free kick is the second gamer, and Smith. Henry Smith from Blackwood in the Adelaide Hills.
Good to see folks give him a couple in a row, Brownie. He was pretty good last week, but gets another go at it.
Tough debut too against Sydney.
Yep.
Top of the ladder team, and that was as good as the final, wasn't it? You know, in terms of the heat. So tough for a young player making his debut.
Just cautiously edging their way closer to goal. Neale and McCluggage team up. Over to Archie, who's in some space. Just pops it up high. Having to do all the work was Bailey. There was no one else there to support him.
Holman ran back there defensively. Well done there.
Is that tongue-in-cheek? Good to see folks give Henry Smith a go. Jared has been on the list 4 years.
No, but I mean
Folks
back to
wouldn't
back.
give him a go.
Back to back. I mean, it takes some time, Dwayne. When you've got the big O in front of you, it's hard to get a Guernsey. But I reckon if you get one game only and then you go back.
I agree with you. Teenager taking pick 48, 2020, and he's too old for a rising star in game 2. Lukosius. Long. Rolls one. Zorko. King. Gave it up. Graham got his arms free. Rosas went and knocked it to his own advantage. Got a kick away in the end. Got it into some space. That looked a little high from here. Looked a little high from there on Brain as well.
Yeah, that was a great effort. Great attack on the ball. Bit of pressure there, Brownie.
Yeah, it was good pressure. It was great by Eric Hipwood, I thought. Just came at Ben long late. He left Ben King. It was a courageous decision, and that just put some uncertainty in his mind moves.
Good call. I was about to say it myself. I thought that was excellent. This is a guy that's trying to be panicking down there at the moment. For him to come off and make that play was huge.
Witt's trying to do it at ground level rather than in the air. Dunkley feeds it to Rayner. Can't break the tackle of Holman.
That is a great tackle.
And he lets him know about it as well.
We've got a Barney on the wing here too, guys.
The feeling. Oh, yeah, just have a look at the boys.
The big ruckman going at it, Brownie. You'll love that.
Witts and McInerney. Well, Witts would just be happy to be out there. He was caught that nasty knee into his back. He fractured his vertebrae with Darcy Moore in round 16 against Collingwood.
Well, midweek he was I think even midweek he thought he wasn't going to be playing, but he got himself up for the big clash. It was probably last hurrah for the Gold Coast Suns, a must-win game. So he got out there, inspirational.
So Holman rewarded, and the 50-metre penalty brings him within range. Can he find the accuracy for them? Just Holman showing them how to get it done at home. Suns back in front.
Well, that's what the Gold Coast Suns need. Get to the next level. They need their leaders to stand up, especially in big games here. To see the two ruckmen, the big dinosaurs, just going at each other. Bit of aggression, no love lost there. Two of the premier ruckmen in the competition, no question about it. Which he'd be making sure those ribs don't get another cuddle. But a big O, he doesn't mind a bit of a chat out there as well. Here's the 50-metre free kick. Big Coleman, a good tackle.
Yeah, Cam Rayner's not used to being tackled. He normally just bursts straight through them, takes the cape off and charges through. But there's the stink you're talking about, Brownie.
Yeah, but great leadership by Nick Coleman, wasn't it, Jared? Because he ran back to spoil Zach Bailey back in the goal square, the defensive end. Then he lays that great tackle, and then he sucks up the pressure and goes back and kicks it. Fantastic leadership.
Great start by the coast.
Moyle against McInerney this time. Rao, Flanders fighting hard. Rao back in as he loves to be. Rao side by side with Neil for a little while there.
Scoreboard flattering Brisbane to a degree.
McInerney kick smothered, kicked it straight into Flanders. All knocked out. Feed out from Bailey was good. Cam Rayner found some space, but there wasn't a lot, and found Danaher. Out the back, played on quickly and goal. That's the easiest way to get it through.
Nice lifted, Jared.
Yeah, for sure, but this is more like Cam Rayner. I mean, it's just, if you put an arm out, he's just going to break it straight through. And Joe, I'm not sure. But you got the job done.
I love that as a forward. Going into a one-on-one situation, he's probably lucky he didn't get spoiled. He's had a good year though, Joe Danaher. Fantastic season. Be up there in the best and fairest for the Lions.
Well, across the half-back line, Wilmot's had 9 and Zorko has had 9. That's where the drive is coming from.
Danaher with his 38th goal for the season. 61 last year. Going all the way through to that last day in September. It'll be a free kick to McInerney. And Ashcroft wants it. He gets it. He puts it up in front of Danaher. Crashes the pack. Rayner with the sweeping handball. Not sure whether what colours he spotted out there, but in the end he gave it to Closey. Andrew. Sweeping handball over the top. Here's a chance for Johnston. Pumped jumps it as long as he possibly can. The sit from behind King. Roses goes to ground. Hitwood under the pump, drops it cold, coming in to help out. Gets it to Leicester. He's pretty much the defensive leader down there this afternoon, with no Harris Andrews out with concussion. Brownie.
Yeah, spot on. I've liked the courage of Eric Hitwood to stand out in front. He's played that assertive position. Potential to get burnt, but at least he's going for his marks. So I think it's a reasonable start in his first game as a defender.
Like it, you had 31 possessions in the Q Clash earlier this season, setting up. Breyer gets his opportunity to establish himself in this team that, on recent evidence, might be finals bound.
Just have a look at this from Zorko. He gets tackled to the ground, and then he's straight back up, and he helps out. He's had a magnificent season.
Closey, Anderson, Johnston, all combined to get it really nowhere. And Zorko, work rate, Jared. You mentioned it. Well, I think you've been mentioning it for 30 years in commentary, haven't you?
I've never seen a bloke work hard that doesn't actually get the best out of himself, Dwayne. So he's a star. When you got that much talent, you had that sort of work rate, you end up with a superstar.
Sydney had the same problem with him early last week. So then they put Goulden or Warner at half forward. So he had to move on to a couple of really dangerous players. Have the Suns got that?
Andrew, a little bit of hang time. He went the early lead, but he's got the athleticism.
I reckon he would have been disappointed in his game last week. He was badly beaten for the first time I've seen this year. His work rate dropped right off. He didn't chase anywhere near like he has.
Is this Andrew against the Giants?
This is Mac, yeah.
Yep. Found himself on Toby Green at times. Couldn't quite get the matchup he wanted, but here's Rayner, and time will beat them. So quarter time at People First Stadium. The full house has gone up. They're looking for the biggest crowd ever, particularly for a Q Clash here at People First Stadium. There's feeling in it, and it's the Brisbane Lions leading by 2 points, 3-2-20. The Suns 2-6-18.
Hey! Is that the McSmart meal from Macca's?
Yeah, 2 burgers, small fries and drink for $6.95.
Smart.
Trying hard to support your immune system? Start simple with a daily Synovus vitamin C in tasty new flavours. Synovus, a daily dose of good.
There's a lot of pressure on teens right now, and having someone that can be their support person can make a teen's life so much better.
It's critical for kids these days to have someone to help mentor them and helps us become better people.
A mentor has the power to change someone's life, if not save someone's life. For me, it did exactly that.
You can make a real difference to a young person's life. Donate to Raise today.
Bill's really creeping up on you, huh?
Yeah.
Not with me. Save money on your favourite streaming apps with Hubble Stack and Save. The more you stack, the more you save.
Everybody's hubbling.
If you can make your world and the world a better place than when you found it, then you have done your job. Let's go.
Premium quality, A-grade, 100-point motor racing. Chaz Mostert, the back-to-back victory at Sydney Motorsport Park. We will see fireworks. That is a lap. This is a tight and exciting pack, isn't it? What a performance. That is tight. Everything he's touched has turned to gold. Wow.
Lions grand finalists last season have not been top 2 all season. Began the year with 3 losses, but they've won every game since their round 12 bye, all 7 in a row, and they lead here at quarter time by 2 points as we head downstairs to Cameron Mooney.
Thanks very much, Spike. Well, I guess the big matchup for the game so far has been the Hipwood on King. And just seeing how that has gone, we've just got some highlights on how that has been going as well. Just in the one-on-ones, Brownie, this is probably where Hipwood has struggled a little bit early on in this game. You see there, Max King, he's had the 3 marks as well, along with his 4 disposals, but it's his kicking that has clearly let him down so far. He really should have 2 goals to his name. But just there again, it's those little one-on-one marks that he does have Hipwood covered at the moment. That was the one there, Brownie, we saw. We just might have liked to see him just jump at that ball. But right now, you've got to say Hipwood's doing okay. Just the fact that King has kicked poorly, but doing okay at the moment, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Moons. You make a good point there. It's interesting to watch because Hipwood he's been brave. He's been prepared to play out in front of Ben King, and as long as he still backs himself and goes for his marks, he's going to get caught in some awkward positions. But it's a great battle to watch. Ben King's got to do a better job with his goal kicking, no question about that. But one of the effects, or there's cause and effect always, is that man can get off the chain now because he doesn't have to worry about Eric Hipwood at the other end. And he's had a fantastic first quarter. Mac Andrew, he's had the 3 intercept marks, playing on a young Henry Smith in his second game.
One of the areas where the Suns do need to lift is around the contest. They're getting absolutely belted at clearance. Hasn't impacted too much on the scoreboard just at the moment. They could also, from their turnovers, and kick 2 goals, 5 from turnovers. So Brisbane moving the ball quite well, but they're losing a handle on it, particularly in that last kick. And Mac Andrew, as Brownie just said, has intercepted a few of them.
So victory is essential for the home team, the Suns, as they try to keep their season alive in front of the sellout crowd, this Q clash. Real scrap to start it. Fletcher and Swallow the old-fashioned jump ball, so the umpire says he'll throw it up as the lights come on at People First Stadium. Dust settles over the Gold Coast. Flanders and Lockie Neal going nowhere.
Brisbane really trying to load up with numbers around their stoppage, trying to overwhelm the Suns with numbers. They only got 3 forwards.
Bothroyd got a hand to it. Fletcher, Archie, straight to the opposition. Closey, Humphrey on his boot. Spots something inside 50 he likes, and that was King playing in front this time of Hipwood. Now, does he back himself in from here?
He's lucky not to be 50.
Yeah, good call, Jay. I think he's very, very lucky.
So, Ben King, the Yips have been making his life a misery.
That is 50.
He's missed the last 9 shots, including 7 last week. 2 set shots in the opening term. It's been a mental block for him more than anything. And the technique right on the line, and Witt saves the day for him.
Well, the contested mark game is being absolutely won by Brisbane, by the Gold Coast. They are killing Brisbane in the air. Hasn't become an issue on the scoreboard, but it may be about to.
Skipper shows them how to get it done. This is how you kick goals, boys, just like this.
Cardinals in there, can't allow contested marks like that on the goal line or the behind line. Should have had more numbers there. They got sidetracked, got lost actually, Jackson Pryor there. He was looking for Lukosius because McInerney got blocked on the way through, but a good finish there by the big fella. He's back.
He might have used
back quicker than they thought.
Might have used the point post as a block.
Yeah. He's a fantastic player, underrated in the Southern States, that's for sure. Great leader here for this club. Brisbane need to do a better job around those stoppages though. They're going to load up with an extra 2 or 3 numbers there. They can't get beaten easily with a unpressured clearance like they were just then.
Footy gods maybe playing a role. Witt's getting the goal. Ben King probably deserving the 50. Yeah, both boys have told us. Umpires all 4 missed it, but they do make a few blues. Fletcher trying to get it out to Neal. He was locked up by Swallow.
It's tightened up on him to a degree. Hasn't been able to get too much free ball at this stage, Lockie Neal. Master with the hands.
Wits, McInerney, the fist on. Lockie again. Right spot, right time. Blast toward half forward. It's a good grab taken by Henry Smith. And he gets to 50, so there you go. No 50 at one end, no. The umpire's cutting some slack. Wow, one umpire blew the whistle as if that was going to be 50, and now he's being sent back. Henry, let's see if he can deliver his first goal on AFL footy. Drafted pick 48 back in 2020 as a teenager. Been forced to wait his time. It's wide. Archie got there off hands. Lyman kept it alive though. No, he didn't. Rain saw it roll to the line and will get a ball in.
Well, experienced umpire out there, Matt Stevic. He's done about 15 grand finals, hasn't he, Dwayne? So you trust in Matt Stevic.
And got a few. Chris Donlan also out there, one of the most experienced, who's giving it away after 422 games in a grand final to his record at the moment, one of the all-time greats.
The rectangle again. Witts palms it down to the advantage of the opposition. McCluggage, Bailey, Quick, Dunkley, Rayner squeezes it on the left and he buries it. He's in goal-kicking form, is Cam Rayner.
Well, Jenna, the challenge for the Suns around stoppage is going to be these two men that have the most influence. It's McCluggage and Rayner.
Yep.
Sometimes Bailey there as well. So you've got to be careful, especially when it's in your defensive 50 of the stoppage. You know that those guys are going to somehow be trying to work to be on the end of it.
I just loved how clean McCluggage's take was initially, and then really cool with his disposal and his decision-making. Yeah, great chain of handballs to just find the right man rather than blasting away under the heat.
2 goals, one the win over Sydney last week, 20 possession game. Cam Rayner and Chris Fagan chewing the chewy. Normally gives us an indicator as to his demeanour, how hard he's chewing it. Reasonably comfortable at the moment. Flanders thumps it. King from 4 deep. Ball rolled to the back. Leicester saved the day. Hammers it to the middle. Flanders got it back again. Ballard. Weller. Poise. Closey. Holds it up. Umpire tells him to get going. Got some air into it. Hipwood and King. That battle continues. Beautiful crumb from Lukosius. Handball, but Humphrey under some pressure. Good enough to get out of it and find Flanders, who just keeps finding it. Most possessions in the AFL this season, averaging 32 possessions a game. Sam Flanders, got to give him some credit for finding it so often, but they find him as well, knowing he's a pretty good ball user when it gets into his hands.
Started the year at half-back too, Dwayne, but moved quickly into the midfield now.
Yeah.
There's a star in there, but that's an area they've had problems with this ground ball, so that's a positive sign there for Damien Hubbard.
There'll be no Stuart Jews in the grandstand. He came a star late last year under Stephen King. And he nails his moment here on cue. Sam Flanders.
There's an area they had to tidy up, Jared. They've got size advantage down there, but ground level's been really poor for the Suns. They actually look at it with the ground ball, 18th for contested possession and ground ball inside their forward 50. So that was important there by Humphrey. He's had a challenging year. Nice tidy up though, and a good finish there by Sam Flanders.
Yeah, as well roved by Jack Lukosius. This is the bloke who can really light them up. Bailey Humphrey's got so much talent.
Well, this is an intriguing tactical battle that's unfolding here. A real arm wrestle in this Q clash number 27. Played back in round 8. And it was the Lions by 34 points in that clash at the Gabba. Moyle into the ruck against McInerney. Winning it in the air and almost at ground level, although it's toe poked away from him in the direction of Charlie Cameron. Anderson gets a little wedge kick away. McInerney took an eternity to pick it up. He got there. Ashcroft, Neal. Stolen. Not for the first time this afternoon. Kicked it straight to Flanders. 3 times he's kicked it to the opposition. And now Lukosius for King. Rises high up the back of Hipwood and shows Eric how to take a specky.
That's what we're talking about in that first quarter, Brownie, wasn't it?
Spot on, Moons. Yeah, he didn't. He jumped at that, didn't he? He learned from his mistake.
Brownie, what should he be telling himself? He's missed his last 10 shots on goal.
Yeah, I've watched him closely over the last few weeks. Like we said, he's leaning back too hard, so he needs that simple cue in his head. He's got to drive his leg towards the goals.
He's
kicked 45 goals this season. He knows how to kick majors. But he's lost his way badly.
Unfortunately, we've all been there, haven't we,
He's in
Moons?
a world of pain, isn't
I've
he?
got 1,000 things I could talk to him about, let me tell you.
Out of the 1,000 things, what would be the one thing you'd say, Moons?
He's got to drive his body through, as Brandy's saying, drive your body through. He's leaning back, so all his weight and momentum stops, and that's why he's spraying him off the side of his foot.
Dunkley to Morris. He got a free kick for holding, and this could be a double whammy. The one the Suns don't get, and the one the Lions might. Here's to the top of the square. Joe's there. Big O's there. In the end, it was Henry Smith. Couldn't do something with it initially. Leicester, a long way from home. To Zorko, a long way from his home. And the Big O!
It's a really clever kick.
Great kick from Zorko.
Hands it to Hugh. And a huge goal from Huey, who just keeps doing it.
Brownie, I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but my eyes and memory tell me that this bloke's better on the snap on the left than he is with the straight kick on the right. But this is the genius of the great Zorko. It was just a beautifully weighted kick. And whilst you key forwards are talking overtime about what you're going to do to Ben King, can you tell me what you're going to do to Eric Hipwood? Because he could have had 6 kicked on him so far. Should he play behind?
Well, they're keen for him to go for his marks. Yeah, it'll be an interesting watch. He's great on the snap. He won the game there a couple of weeks ago, of course, with that snap on the other side of the ground. Of course, that was the Gabba, but he's in nearly career best form, I think, here in Cleage. He's so dynamic, dangerous, hitting the scoreboard. So he's seen lining up there at half forward. Can start inside mid, like we said. But yes, fascinating battle at the other end. Ben King, Eric Hipwood. King hasn't made him pay.
Missed the 4. 1 miss and 3 behinds as Brisbane go forward again. Charging out of the centre is Ashcroft. It's a high ball. Crashing the pack there was Smith. Cameron, here's a chance for Logan. He's bouncing it. Morris is missing. Of course, Logan Morris made his debut in round 8 in that Q clash after he played in the VFL, Dwayne, and he had a Big Mac in between. And
a McFlurry.
And a McFlurry.
Yeah. And a cup of the doctor's soup, as he was being told, hey, mate, you're on for your AFL debut. Moyle got there.
The clam chowder.
It's a good combination, the two rucks, the experienced and the youngster coming through.
That was when Starcevic, this guy, did the calf in the warm-up. That's why Logan Morris got his debut in that Q clash earlier this year. Starcevic with the calf about 4 or 5 minutes from the opening bounce, and Gardner was told.
And Gardner did his knee, McCarthy did his knee, and Answorth was concussed.
Yeah. And yet they still won the game, as you mentioned, by 34 points. Was Zorko dominant with that 40-possession game, and
the game was over at half time.
Yeah, Joe Danaher kicking a couple of big goals. Closey hands it to Weller. Hewlin, Ballard. Can he find a target inside 50? Overcooked it a little. Ball rolls to the back. Anderson outside of the boot. He had no left, and his right just wasn't right.
Yep, had to be a left footer. It's the problem when you come through and you've got no left foot. Coaches say you can kick it on the outside of your right, but what happens when the pressure's coming from the right side, as we just saw there?
Do they practice it anymore, Cheddar? The opposite foot?
Brownie, been a fair while since I've been on the track.
Leicester goes long. Smith comes from a long way back, couldn't juggle the mark. In the end, it ends up with Andrew. Flanders. Lucky Mule. King says, I want it in the goal square. Sit it on my head. I want to take him on one-on-one. Hipwood, it rolls to the back, and Fletcher slaps it over.
I guess the only thing you could say to Eric Hipwood, and it'd be hard because obviously it's only been a few days in preparation, is go and play like you did when you were an All-Australian as an under-18 player. I don't think they'd want to change his natural instinct too much in terms of his positioning on Ben King.
Yeah, his positioning's not working, but whatever he's whispering to Ben King in his ears working. Logan Morris.
Man on the mark techniques.
Might have the right guy on him. Danaher. Collins holds him up. Joe wants to go. Umpire said no go, Joe. And he hands it to Leicester, who's dancing on the spot.
This bloke continues to rack up the disposals.
Been a great move to push Silko to half-back. I know it was out of necessity in the end through injury. Pryor pumps it. Lohman doesn't go for it. Gets it off the bounce. wanders his way inside, past the traffic, and Berry can't finish it off, Jared Berry.
Interesting, watch the matchups. Talk about matchups coming in, and whether Rao gets sat on, whether Lockie Neal gets sat on, whether Noah Anderson does in his 100th game. So those matchups really haven't eventuated. There's been a bit of accountability in stoppages, but not a hell of a lot of close checking. Not certainly like Dunkley on Rao's job earlier in the season.
Powell looking for his ruckman, the spoil from behind by Pryor. It's an out of trouble momentarily. Anderson puts his body on the line in his 100th game. Noah Anderson is the youngest Gold Coast son to 100 games.
Just as I speak, Barry slams him, but that should be a free kick every day of the week.
Sure.
Instead, it's a free going to Lockie Neal against Rao.
Oh, he's got to do a better job of that, protecting the midfielders there.
A couple of leads are on. He ignores left and right, goes straight down, looking for Joe.
Jeez, the seas just parted for Joe. It's a great kick from Lockie Neal, who, as you've said, Kelly's not having a great day with the boot. He's having a fantastic season, though. He's been lethal with his kicking this year. But today just hasn't worked initially, but that one set up what should be a shot at goal. But they just parted the defenders for him to just come waltzing through. He's missed everything to the right so far today.
Only dribbled one through. Didn't have the confidence to go back for the set shot. Can he produce a set shot here directly in front and show Ben King how it's done?
That's exactly right, Cal. Show him how it's done. You see, he drove his body towards the goals. Let's just watch his push, though. So Anderson, Berry on Anderson. Yeah. Oh, that's got to be a free kick. I know the umpire's behind, but surely another umpire can blow that. That has to be a free kick to Noah Anderson. Anyway, it wasn't. It was a great mark there by Joe Danaher and a beautiful goal-kicking technique. Just simple, went back, got his weight headed in the right direction.
Straight through the middle of the Suns. That is a beautiful technique from the side. Doesn't always hit it right, but hard pressed to find flaw with that example.
He's had a good season again. Fantastic year last year. Continues on that good form. He was probably the best player in the grand final as well. So he's going to be important run into September.
Rail, an important clearance. Straight down the spine. Good commitment from Pryor. Couldn't take the mark. Hipton can't get the kick away. Graham stripped. High. So one umpire yelled play on and the other umpire called high, which is interesting. Is that a ball up? But obviously the free kick overrules the umpire closest who called play on.
It was there. It was one. The left arm was just over the shoulder. Wasn't much in it, but it was enough there to pay.
Will Graham talked about how good the Suns Academy group has been. Game 13. They picked 26 from last year. And he's got the goods. Will Graham.
Yeah, he has the goods, Jared. Palm Beach Crumb and the Footy Factory down there. He's been fantastic. Come along, and he's quite mature for an 18-year-old. He's been able to cut with being in the middle. The arm did slip up, so we see them not paid. But at the end of the day, he took his opportunity. They should have got a free kick at the other end when Berry whacked into Anderson. But he's been fantastic, a real positive for the Suns. Damien Hardwick, I love the way he goes about his footy. He's tough and hard. And he's being trusted with roles as well in the midfield at times. We know Damien Hardwick's not a big tagging coach, but at times he's thrown him on, including on Nick Dacos a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he might be given a bit of a role on Darcy Wilmot, who's also had so much of the ball in that first quarter.
It's the birthday boy today, Will Graham. Turns 19. So, nice little birthday present for him, although there's plenty more to play in this contest as Rayner puts his body on the line. Smith into the ruck, it bobbles around. Johnston tried to run through. Rao's in there, fighting hard.
Just 2 touches for Wilmot in this term. Had double figures in the first quarter.
Wicks in front position, straight down the throat of Rao. Kicks into space. A couple of players over on it. Pryor, just before he could flick it out, he's tackled to the turf.
There's no doubt that's a role there. He's played in that several times. Just keep in and watch on Wilmot. Wilmot and Zorko had plenty of the footy in the first quarter.
There's another roll.
Swallow on Lockie Neal.
Yeah, he's tightened right up on him.
Lockie Neal's got a couple of swallows tattooed on his arm, and now he's wearing a swallow for company.
Wide ball. Leicester. Use that nudge to the back and reason for the free. Good floating was splendid from Brain. Took a couple of those late last week to help them get across the line. Flick between his legs from Ashcroft. Back to Brain. It's okay, Mr. Fagan. The kids have got it covered here. Fletcher. Back to Ashcroft. Plants his foot into it long. Up they fly, and this time Logan Morris can't complete the deal, and the old head of Sam Collins stays strong.
Great intercept, Mark.
Moyle was in there. Leicester's kick was smothered. Brown goes in, tries to pick it up. It would happy to come off for a breather after applying the tackle.
Yeah, Ben King's on the bench, so you want to get off while Ben King's resting as well.
Smith up against Witts. Hurried kick out of there. Leicester trap it, he can't. Good pressure by Moyle.
There's a great clearance from Matty Rowell. He was holding his man off with one arm. He trapped it with the other and still got the kick away. Good battle going on between those two young guns.
Well, it's Brisbane by 2 at quarter time. 3 goals apiece in this second. They're still holding on to that 2-point lead. Sarcevic was being held by Long. He'll win the free kick.
Full of class, Berry.
He's got the release player, but he's ignored him to go down the corridor. Still out there on the wing.
Fletcher, back to the man who gave it to him. Pressurised kick though. Holman, under the hammer from Wilmot, and they'll still come up with it. So Big O drifting forward. Got there, great hands. He thought about playing on there. I reckon the Big O. He got grabbed by the ankle. Now, has he got this kick in him?
Should have been allowed to run free there, but he got grabbed by the ankle. Big Joe wants it in front.
Big O ignores Big Joe. Goes longer. Lyman got up there. Morris caught. Dispossessed. Crowd in full voice wanted ball. Didn't get it. We'll get a ball up.
It's good crowd, good atmosphere here, Moons.
They're very loud down here, particularly this group right behind me, Brownie. Very vocal. Right in my ear.
Biggest Q Clash crowd here is 16,500. So they'll beat that this afternoon as the Suns clear it, but only as far as Pryor. Was one of 3 inclusions for the Lions this week, and his delivery is pinpoint to Rayner.
He can nail this. Nice work from Pryor back in the team. Give it an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So important. He can play a bit taller too. Play small, tall. Good kick there. Rayner's easily got the trip here. Been in fantastic form, full of confidence.
Came off his best game for the season last week against the Swans. He had 23 goals last season. He's currently lining up for his 22nd for the season. From directly in front, he strikes that to perfection.
He's about a 60 percentage, we're 10 rows back.
He's a powerful unit. It's exciting now to see him coming through. He's given us a taste, and I thought last year he was pretty good too. In fact, at times he was really good. But he's in this patch of form right now where it's all coming together. Clean hands, goes back, as you said, Brownie. Like Ernie Els, he just swang just so easily.
9 possessions, 2 goals. He's had 2 20-plus possession, 2-goal games this year, both against pretty good teams. Sydney last week and against Collingwood round 3.
And I think he's developing the confidence, Dwayne, that, play the game that's in front of him. So to position himself depending on where the game needs him at that time. He's developed that confidence and obviously used his physical attributes.
McInerney, Moyle, Neal, straight through the light of them. Going the wrong way, had to give it to Zorko, to Wilmot. Look left, look right. Go straight down the spine in the air. Not a bad option. Morris almost plucked it. Might still get it. Does. Gave it up. Bailey, he has a chance. More than a chance. Extends the margin.
Well, coaches always talk about little things, but you'll see little things turn into big things here. First, there's a smother from the man we were just talking about, Rayner. When this ball comes to ground, there's a kick, that's a smother, and then a really quick little give by Logan Morris gets it out to a player who nails the goal. So two little one-percenters, as they're known. You'll see them on replay once again. Ball goes to ground, there's the smother, there's the give, and there's the goal.
Well, they're the match winners in the team, Jared. Harris Andrews happy with that, having a week off for the concussion.
Yeah.
Sees that a fair bit of training. But Zach Bailey, like you said, Jared, early in the game, he's just working his way back into some form after a slow start.
Exciting player.
First real opening in this contest, the biggest lead now for the Lions. Trying to lift them, Graham. Off the turf goes Dunkley. Humphrey tries to barge his way through. It'll be a ball up. 4 of the last 5 goals the Lions have kicked now.
Matty Rouse lifted his work rate round the stoppage. Had 3 this quarter. They only had 4 for the quarter last in the first term.
Boyle. Scrimmage. Soccer off the ground by Swallow. And there's the matchup we've spoken plenty about. Ben King and Hipwood.
Still think he's got a higher percentage of success chance if he plays from behind Big Eka.
Well, when he's been caught out, Jared, he's been caught out playing too far in front, hasn't he?
He has, every time.
Flung back in. Little knockdown. Missed a couple of them. Didn't miss Graham. Wilmot wrapped him up. Well, this is mine.
I mean, he's a pretty quick player, obviously, Ben King. When he's at his best, he's hard to track down, but Hipwood is also quick.
Moyle, McInerney, down to Neil, got it to the wing. Logan Morris knew the boundary line was there and then didn't take it out. That was clever. Rayner, Neil, he's still not out.
No, he's lifted though this last 6 or 7 minutes, Neil. Him and Rayner together have established this lead.
Neil, Rayner, McCluggage, sorry, Dwayne.
Yeah, 34 possessions in the Q Clash early this season. Got a couple of Brownlows.
He had 23 of those in the first half, I think, right?
A couple of Marcus Ashcroft medals in Q Clashes. They know the damage you can do. Ball knocked down to him on a Q. So if he knew we were talking about him, Rayner tried to give it back just to complete the fun. Have a little laugh about, hey, they're talking about you, you know.
Still never seen him handball with his right hand, White.
Well, that is a trend these days, Jared. If you can throw it with the other hand, you can get away with it.
Well, I don't see him throw it, though. He's a flinger. See, he can get onto that left hand no matter where it is. As for the rest, there's plenty of throws.
Looking here, he's got a few Glendennings, a few Ashcrofts,
a couple of
Brownlows. Maybe one more the way he's tracking.
He wants that other one you get on grand final day, Brownie.
Yeah, that'll complete the trophy cabinet.
They're going for 8 straight here this afternoon, the Brisbane Lions.
I don't think he's going to get a Coleman at this stage.
Looking to leapfrog the Blues, who really opened the door for the Brisbane Lions last night, faltering against Port Adelaide.
A Norman be handy.
Boy, that's the one he's chasing. There's that lethal left-hander. Every time we see it, particularly in that position, it won them the game last week. It was a handball, in fact. I saw it happen 3 weeks earlier where Lachie Neale ran onto that same particular spot. You've got to be careful of the left duke of the Big O.
Good experience for young Moyle going in. Oscar is in fantastic form.
This time he goes with it, both hands.
There it is.
And goes the sweeping handball inside 50. Loman over his head. Ashcroft, well, he's kicked miracle goals from this spot before, doesn't quite hit the distance. Andrew chops it off.
Oh, see, what was that?
Well, Joe kept 1 foot planted. It was like a basketball, keep your foot planted, you'll be okay. And he got away with no 50. Andrew wide, Zorko overcooked his leap, and the ball finds Lachie Neale. Back against the grain. He finds Dunkley. Dangerous 4 minutes coming up here. Heads out wide. And you're spot on about work rate, Brownie. They're all working hard at the moment to Swallow and make sure that they have to get a ball in. But it is a dangerous 3.5 minutes given the Lions have put the hammer down.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here to see Lachie Neal's work rate, Jared. Obviously, you know him closely and work with him. He's magnificent. The way he's just getting to work, you know, he knows not the crunch time of the game, but this is the time where you can put a bit of a gap in your opposition.
Can they get a defensive stop here, the Gold Coast Suns? Well, thumps it over.
You'd like to see the Suns just rise to this challenge, though.
Yep.
Maybe tighten up on Lachie Neal. There's the disposals in this term, and I mean, I reckon Lockie's had 5 or 6 in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so tighten up on him. Snag a goal or so in this last 3.5 minutes and just go into half-time full of confidence.
Boyle into space. Humphrey couldn't control it. Rao just throws it on the boot. And out of bounds on the foot was a lower shin.
Rao's trying to get to him when he's in the stoppage, but just then, Brisbane's got so much depth in their midfield. So Neal pulls out, Dunkley goes in, they swap over, Ashcroft goes in, so they're trying to wear Rao out, but he's gone to him now. So I like that initiative from Matt Rao.
Moyle again playing in front. Clean bowls a couple of teammates. Dunkley at the back. Around the corner, he curls it. Suns with the numbers. Both flew in the air in the end. And was he taken high? Umpire said no, Logan Morris.
It was high up the other end. It must be lower altitude or something.
Fighting and scrapping, trying to get it. Oh, hit foot. King gets him. Strips him. It'll score the way of Zorko.
Well done to Eric, because he was in front a couple of times there and won those ground balls.
So Wilmot, another foray forward here for the Brisbane Lions. Another possession to Zorko. It's incredible to think after grand final day the chat was, will he go on or not? Could just about be All-Australian this year, Zorko. As Rayner tries to set up another goal. A burst from Lachie Neal. And then he runs into Bodie Hewlin, who says, not on my patch. The young gun taking it up to the 2-time Brownlow medalist. What a tackle.
Brilliant tackle. Yeah, he was trying to bite off plenty there, Lachie Neal, looking for the goal of the day, but that was a cracking tackle.
Playing his first Q Clash, born and bred Gold Coaster from the Burleigh Bombers.
Yeah, Bodie Hewlin's little brother Zeke as well was named back pocket in the under-18 All-Australian team last week. Youngest player in that All-Australian team, so they might have another academy gun coming through. Well, they've got plenty of them. Danaher, little palm down. Dunkley got to kick away. Not the required, so the mark will not count. Thumbed clear. Humphrey, Zorko, thrown. Flanders went and got it. Dunkley.
Good kick.
Delightful kick. Logan Morris beckons someone to come at him. Starcevic. He might go for the home. Dances through the arc. Plants his foot into it. And misses. They dodge a bullet there. The Suns.
Lions have really flexed around the middle of the ground, haven't they? So twice as many disposals this quarter.
Yep.
Plus 15 contested possession. So that's what Brisbane did to Gold Coast in round 8. The midfield flexed. Gold Coast couldn't go with them.
I was just looking at Rao and Anderson, just 4 apiece. Landers has kept his work rate up, or his disposals anyway, with 9. Let's make that 10.
Here he goes. Rao
Great
through traffic. Johnston out wide. Closey. Can they build? Gee, they get a pep in their step. If King could get on the end of one here. He's loping on after it. Oh, what about the spoil? Intent. Courage. He's pumped Zorko.
That's one of the great scenes.
He absolutely loves giving it to the little brother down the highway.
Well, he came off his man magnificently.
His starting points, Jared, all game have been so brilliant. That was fantastic, wasn't it?
King with those big hands thought, yep, I've got this. And look at that.
He's loving his footy right now.
Oh, it's a fountain of youth hanging with the young guns, isn't it? For a guy like Dane Zorko. You get, when they've got Kyle Lohman, Henry Smith, Logan Morris, Shadow Brain, they've got a lot of young guys in this team, the Lions. And he's got a pep in his step, has Dane. Absolutely. The great Dane lives on. He might be All-Australian this year. Here goes Joe. Dance past a couple and bombs a top. This would be a monster goal. He couldn't get the bounce that he was after. The crowd was roaring for it. Come on, footy gods. Where are you?
That almost challenged Jeff Frerings, who was at Moorabbin that day, went about 70, 80 metres.
Well, one team's playing with real exuberance at the moment, and they're enjoying it. And the other team He's on the edge of capitulating here just before half-time.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to get through to half-time, Cal, without any more bleeding on the scoreboard. Just need to lock down here, Gold Coast.
So, Lohman to add more pain in the last few minutes. And he misses two on the outside.
Dunkley's had 13, Neil's had 10, Zorko has had 8 in this third term. Dunkley, understated as always, but so effective.
Yours?
Probably run out of time to score here as the experienced Hipwood sees it over.
He's finished the half really well, Eric Hipwood. He's had 2 possessions and a spoil in the last 5 minutes.
Not quite the golden fist that we saw from Zorko a few moments ago, but...
No, and not quite the same celebration.
Have you ever seen a player celebrate
Not over a punch, except the late, great Danny Frawley.
The golden fist has absolutely got them pumped up, the Brisbane Lions, because they're going to take a 17-point lead into the main change. Look at the difference in the body language here. Suns have got no answers for the Brisbane Lions, who can sniff second spot on the ladder for the first time this year. They were 13th at the bye. They're looking for 8 straight. They lead it by 17. 8-7-55, the Suns 5-8-38.
All right, there we go. Half time, People's First Stadium. And it's the Brisbane Lions, 8-7-55, leading the Gold Coast Suns 5-8-38. Tell you what, it was goal for goal in that second term there. What a cracking game it is, but Brisbane's class just seemed to get on top a little bit halfway through that second quarter. Hey, Angel, welcome in. How you going, bro? Ryan, the boss, manager, what's going on, everybody in the house? Thanks for coming in. Eddie G, what's going on? What's going on? So there we go. Tell you what, it's a great game. Anyone's game. Pressure is abundant. Lions had plenty of run in that second quarter. Suns the same, but just couldn't hit their mark up forward. Let's have a little bit of a look at some players' stats here. Up until half-time, Lachie Neale and Dane Zorko. They're on fire. They're on fire for the Brisbane Lions. They are doing sensational. Of course, Lachie Neale leading the way with 20 disposals, 10 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 marks, 1 tackle, 7 clearances. Dane Zorko down back. He's a master down there for him in this game today with 19 touches, 16 kicks, running out of defence very well. 3 handballs, 8 marks, 1 tackle. Josh Dunkley going well with 17. Wilmot was 16. So the top 4 possession getters all coming from the Brisbane Lions. Next best for the Gold Coast Suns, Sammy Flanders on 14. 9 kicks, 5 handballs, 3 marks, 3 tackles and a clearance. And then Sam Closey with 14. Cam Rayner, another good game so far, another good half from him with 12. McCluggage, don't forget your luggage. As I think Chris would always say, don't forget your luggage, McCluggage. He's on 12. Will Ashcroft. My gosh, that's a tongue twister. He's on 12 as well. There we go. Looking at McAndrew there. He's holding up well in defence there for the Gold Coast Suns. He's had 11 touches, 9 kicks, 2 handballs, 9 marks there in defence. Let's come down a little bit. Have a little bit of a look at your players' stats. Zach Bailey there, just on 8. Joe Danaher, the big man down forward there for the Brisbane Lions. He's had 7 touches today, 6 kicks. Mr. No handball. He had 1 handball. That's because, well, he had to. 5 marks, 1 hit out. Snagged a couple of sausage rolls along the way. Jack Lucius on 6. Ben King not going too bad for the Suns. He hasn't got his kicking boot on though. He's got the yips again. He's got the yips. If Gold Coast want to get back in and even have a chance to win this game, he needs to have his kicking boot on and kicking straight. 3 behinds for his 5 kicks. Come on, Ben King, you can do it. Eric Hipwood there, just with the 5 touches. He's a little bit quiet there for the Lions. Swallow, quiet. For the Suns, just on the 4, 2 and 2. He's had 5 tackles though, so at least he's doing a bit around the ground. Jared Witts there, just 3 touches, 2 kicks, 1 handball. He's had a couple of marks, a couple of tackles. He's had 14 hit-outs there for the Suns. And of course, Oscar McInerney with the 18 hit-outs there for the Brisbane Lions with his 7 disposals. Let's have a little bit of a look at the goal scorers, see what's happening there. Of course, Cam Rayner and Hugh McCluggage on top, 2 each of 2 with Joey Danaher. 3 multiple goal scorers there for the Brizzy Lions. Of course, Jared Witts, the big man, he's got 1. Ben Long, Holman, Graham and Flanders, all 1 each for the Suns. And Charlie Cameron, the first goal scorer of the game, he's got 1 with Zach Bailey. There we go. Who's kicking awkward today? That's Ben King, 3 behinds. Joey Danaher, he could have had 4 on the board, but he's just got 2. He's got 2 behinds with that as well. The AFL fantasy points, if you're playing that game, Dane Zorko, of course, is on top on 82. Darcy Wilmot was 71. And Hugh McCluggage, 67. All right. It's a good game here at the Q Clash here in Queensland. Let's have a bit of a look at the disposals for the team stats as we head on in. Brisbane Lions, well, they've got the ball a fair bit more, haven't they? They've got about 63 up on the Suns, 208 to 145. 40 odd more kicks to the Lions. They definitely had more play in that quarter. As I said, they did have control of the game. It's unfortunate because it was goal for goal. It was a cracking game, but I expect the Gold Coast Suns to come out firing, regain that momentum again, get that score back even. 131.94 kicks, 77.51 handballs. Lions in front there, inside 50s. Lions by 8, 30 times inside their 50 for 15 scoring shots, going at 50% strike rate inside 50 to their scoring shots. And of course, Brisbane, the Gold Coast Suns, not bad. Just for their inside 50, 22 times, about 13 scoring shots. They've got to get it in there a little bit more for their forwards, give them an opportunity to score and bring the margin back. Disposal efficiency, both going pretty well at 72, 73%. Efficiency inside 50 is pretty high for both sides. They're doing very well, 63 and 56%. Both well above the season's average. Free kicks, well, the Brisbane Lions, there we go. They've doubled the free kicks of the Gold Coast, 10 to 5. Stoppages, 23-21. 2 in front of the Suns. The clearances, Lions doing a little bit more damage around the ball ups, etc. like that with the clearances, 24-13. They're leading by 11. The centre clearances, well, 4 to 6, reasonably even. Lions by 2 in that department. Stoppage clearances, 9 to 18. Again, the Lions on top in that. Contested possessions, 47-71. Lions are a little bit more hard at the ball in their contested possessions. They're winning that a little bit more. And the uncontested possession just shows you that they have been in control of the game by a fair bit. 135-88, Lions way. Turnovers, she's pretty high turnover game. That being said, the Gold Coast Suns are doing well. 27 turnovers for the match. They're well under the season's average, so they're handling the ball with good gloves. 32 to the Lions. Possession, time in possession, 37% time in possession for the Suns, 44 for the match for the Lions. And of course, as you see, a little bit of the domination in that quarter. The Lions had the ball 46% of the time to the Suns 31. And that final 10 minutes, where the Lions put on those extra couple, it was 28% to 14. There we go. Marks, 68-45. Finding their man a little bit better, the Lions, up by 23. Hey, Brett, how you going? Welcome in. What's going on, young fella? Marks inside 50, 8 to 6. Suns have got it by 2, but then kicking astray, which is letting them down. So not doing the damage that is expected. Contested marks 8-5, the Suns by 3 there. Of course, there is a scoring. The tackles, defensive tackles, the Suns are bringing the pressure there above their season average on 37. The Lions, not too bad. They got the spoils as well happening, 25. Tackles inside 50, the Suns, 4-2. 1%ers, the Lions doing a little bit more at the moment. Of course, they've still got plenty of interchanges that they can do as we go into the second half. You just scroll that back up. Hope everyone's enjoying the game today. Again, thanks for everyone for coming in. What have we got left? 10 minutes until the bounce of the third quarter. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the ladder. Going into the game, as we see Brisbane Lions sitting 5th on the ladder on 46 points, 2 points behind Carlton, who are sitting in 2nd. If Brisbane go on to win this game today, they'll jump up into second position, half a game clear of Carlton, Geelong and Port Adelaide. And of course, the Gold Coast Suns sitting down there in 12th position on 36 points. They need to win this game today, or it could be season over for them. This is like a mini final there for the Gold Coast Suns. The Q clash here today between the two Queensland sides, the Gold Coast Suns and the Brisbane Lions. But if we put the live ladder on now to where they will end up, if the game has the result that it is pending right now, Brisbane will jump up into second. As we can see, the Gold Coast Suns will remain 12th. There we go. Let's get back to there. Let's just have a little bit of a glance at the other game. What the score in the other game? We've got another game playing at the moment, and that game is between St Kilda and Essendon, and it's being played at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. That's a half-time over in that game, and of course St Kilda are leading that game 7-2-44 to Essendon 5-5-35. As we just go back to that ladder, here, Essendon 42 points. They're actually looking for that win. Let me turn the live ladder off again. Essendon are hanging on by their fingertips into the top 8 there on 42, just a half a game clear with a very low percentage. Essendon need to win this game to stay in the hunt for the finals. And of course, St Kilda down there on 28. Their season's pretty well wrapped up in the bag. They can't win, but they've got to play for a little bit of pride. They want to come home strong this season in the last 5 to 6 rounds and then start off next season as well. But if we turn the live ladder on, there we go. That is the live ladder as it stands at the moment, with all matches stopped at present. We can see Brisbane will end up second if they come out victors today in this game. All right, let me have a little bit of a look and see. We've got about 7 minutes before the bounce of the third quarter. Let's have a look and see where the commentators are. Still on a few ads. All right, no worries. We'll be back then, folks. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time. We'll pick up the action. The third quarter here, the Gold Coast Suns versus the Brisbane Lions. All right, here we are, folks. Third quarter is about to get under the way. Players are in their position. Umpires got the ball. Take it back to the commentators for the third quarter here. Gold Coast Suns take on the Lions.
Come from Matty Rowell at the moment because he's starting on the bench, but it does have to come from these two guys. I mean, Noah Anderson and Matt Rowell, they've had 20 possessions between them, but very few effective kicks. I'd love to see Bailey Humphrey come into the middle of the ground. Dave Swallow's only had 4 possessions himself. I mean, they're about 80 possessions behind. In fact, they're 65-odd possessions behind. There's one bloke who's getting plenty of it, but they need to connect with their forward line and get some score on the board. Not out of this game by any stretch.
Got a lift in the contest. Minus 24 contested possessions. They've been belted up by the Brisbane Lions midfield so far.
Suns have been coasting. Can they lift in this second term? Starting with their skipper in the ruck, but McInerney gets it back. McCluggage, Neal, racking them up. Rayner punishing them on the scoreboard. He's handled to Humphrey. Has he been legged? Yes. It's almost sore. Play on advantage. So a grubber of a kick. Oh, Hipwood missed it entirely. They might be able to make them pay here. Roses on the left. Snap. Goal. Just what the doctor ordered.
Fortuitous, but good work by Noah Anderson. Called for it, Jared. Got to work. Rushed out of there. So, a bit of a leg there. Handball forward. But Anderson was the one. He forced it forward and then bounced off Hipwood and then followed this up to get the goal. That's what you need. Good start by the young fella in his 100th game.
Yeah, that was terrific, Brownie. It was great to see Bailey Humphrey in there as well. There he is, charging in. Good vision. Just the start they needed, Dwayne.
Well, they won the Q Clash here last season when their whole year was on the ropes at that stage. Suns win today. They'll at least have won more games this season than last season. They won 9 last year in the year that Stuart Dew departed mid-season. They've got 9 wins and 9 losses now. They could grab a 10th. It's all there to be grabbed. Humphrey can't grab it. Spins out of a jam. Got it in the end. Swallow. He needs a moment. And he can't find the goals here. That could have been massive if their experienced superstar could have nailed it there.
I like it though. A couple of young blokes getting involved. Bailey Humphrey and Will Graham, both the future of this footy club.
Graham might have gone to Lockie Neal too. Okay, just a close watch. That's one to follow early in this third quarter.
Zorko, possession number 20. So he's on track. 40 he had in round 8 in the last Q Clash.
He's got the limps up at the moment, Zorko. He hurt himself in that last contest a few minutes ago, so just keeping an eye on him at the moment, Kel.
Bailey just hugs the boundary line. Nice mark from Newland.
Different looking Suns outfit early.
He is. Not sure what Hardwick said at half-time.
Well, he was supposed to speak with me, Kelly. He didn't, so I'm thinking he'd given the boys a fair old cook.
It's a good mark.
Back in the day, did you, Moose? You run through him.
Oh, I think he's too busy revving the boys up.
Boyle. Just put it out. He's asked for Ken to run and launch. There's a holding free behind play. And it'll go to Leicester against Holman.
But wasn't that great vision of Dane Zorko? And maybe that's exactly the sort of player this group needs to recruit. Somebody who is just absolutely full of leadership, full of energy. But he's a leader of the cheer squad as well as the captain of the team.
And Holman gives away a 50 there that releases the pressure and releases the lines to the midfield. Cam Rayner.
They're inciting the anger of the Suns supporters because Zorko was in the Suns Academy.
Yeah, sits it up. Collins thumped it away from his own man in the end. And there is the Great Dane. Can he get a little bounce? He can't.
So the Suns zone before the Academy started. Been a wonderful player. He's going for his 6th best and fairest, which would be second only to the great Kevin Bulldog Murray. He's the most winningest best and fairest at the Lions.
His 269th game is now 8th all time for the Lions as well, Dane Zorko.
So the Suns looking to build through their experienced player in Swallow, the former skipper, towards Moyle. Not quite. Graham. Both ruck go without it. Moyle now comes in and he stands up in the tackle. Going with the 2 ruck. Damien Hardwick for the first time. Moyle, his form so good he couldn't drop him. And Wicks came in, knocked on the coach's door and said, I'm ready to go. So he's picked both. Weller, high ball, 2-on-1 in the end, really making Moyle have to work for it. And it's 50-50, he kills it over the line.
3 out of 3 clearances to date in this term. We'll have another crack at their fourth. Push and shove. Dane Zorko, one of those who likes to get involved in those, but no Took to tangle with in this one tonight for Dane. Weller can't break free. McInerney goes back. Wilmot, Berry. Half forward, Morris. This is impressive, this kid is. In game 11.
3 kick goals against Harris Andrews in his first intra-club game.
Heads inside 50 to Joe. Can't mark it. Swallow crumbed it. Floats a mongrel back. No mark to Johnston. Collins hammers it away. Big ball to win, and Big Moyle wins the big ball. Couldn't handle with his opposite side. Couldn't find his target. Little flick out. Wits, they don't argue. Rowell left it behind. Flanders mopped up the mess to Anderson. Needs a good inside 50 kick, and he finds King at his bootlaces. Couldn't hit him lace out. Lester, Zorko, Pryor. And again, it's Noah Anderson and Matt Rowell. I think Champion Data had them top 10 for inside 50 kicks that don't find targets this year. So they need to start hitting some logos, some chest logos.
That was a good example of it, Dwayne. Don't need to spear it onto the chest. Just put it out, let him run under the ball. Take the easy option.
Easy option fighting across for McInerney. Cops one across his jaw.
He's just camping behind the play. Oscar McInerney, it's been fantastic. One of the premier ruckmen in the comp, and certainly one of the most informed ruckmen in the competition the last few weeks.
Many think Max Scorns got that All-Australian ruck spot all sewn up.
Well, he beat Brady Grundy last week, and a lot of people have said Brady Grundy too.
Stolen here by Swallow, trying to lift his side. Lukosius, haven't called him too much this afternoon. Stolen by Rayner, trying to zig and zag his way through traffic. Out to Neil, who's got some space. Berry to a one-on-one. Loman's pretty good in this sort of situation. The 2 young guns. Was it a hold? He had him round the chest. And now Flanders.
Nice kick.
Trying to open it up. Anderson wants to go to Weller, who has speed, has a bounce. What does he see inside 50? This is where the connection lets them down. King rises up the back of Leicester. And now he needs to go back, King. And he needs to finish off his good work.
Yeah, Ryan Lester got caught. He always plays the deepest defender, Ryan Lester, and Hibley was up the ground, and King had just stayed deep while the play was upfield. Good mark, good jump.
Well, they've actually changed that matchup, seems, for this start of this third quarter, Brownie. So Lester's been starting on him. Oh, this will bring the house down.
Suns fans, look away now. The cheer will tell the story. Finally! And lip readers can tell the story there.
Oh, we feel his relief, and he was entitled to drop whatever magic he wanted there a couple of times, in fact. But here he is. He's got the hand in the air. It's a pretty good kick. It sets it up top, and he just has to do what he has done reflexly since he was 12 years of age. But good to see Weller coming off that half-back line. They need more of that. Need more attack and get it into a one-on-one, because he's going to mark everything down there today. And they are right back in this contest.
Kicked the last 2 goals of the game, got the momentum right now, even though they don't have the lead, the Suns. Have not lost a game at home all season.
Amazing when you win contest, Dwayne. +7 contested possession this quarter after being smashed in the first half.
Umpire recalls it, see if they can break through this little brother, big brother syndrome. Q-Class 27, the Lions have won 19 of them, the Suns 7. McInerney, Dunkley, pounced and got it inside 50. Archie out wide, but Swallow read his eyes to Ulam. One-on-one, Roses, Brain, kept it alive, Dunkley slipped, danger. Got a handball through, Ashcroft couldn't handle it, Rao does, stripped of it, dropped it, Brain feeds it over the top, intensity's gone up, Archie can't collect it and go. Ball in, and the crowd have found voice as well.
A little cameo from Charlie Cameron to the Brisbane Lions. He's been very quiet, well helped by Will Powell.
Kicked the first goal of the afternoon for the Lions. Charlie Cameron, and nothing since. Bobbles around in there. Here's Humphrey, who Jared told us at half-time needs to lift, and he has. He hasn't been the only Suns player to lift, as Starcevic, the intercepting mark.
Had a good game, Starcevic.
The centre half back he goes. Puts Brain under the pump. Berry's there. And now they're able to move it.
Where's Joe?
Logan Morris retreats. Back to Berry.
Big Oscar's pushed forward as well to support Joe.
Berry's got, it's a kick that's smothered in the end by Holman. Well done. Falls the way of Anderson. He launches. Long's got to beat a couple. Hipwood in front. Well done by Long. He nullified it in the end, and then he goes in. Tries to flick it out. Mills there.
That was brilliant by Hipwood.
Out to Berry. He tries to set something up here for the Lions, although getting in front, the Suns with the numbers.
Ballard got it down to Anderson, rolls it. King with 2 to beat. Starcevic, great tackle. Had him wing tackle, but he got it to Pryor. Pressure on the kick. Anderson's lifted his weight.
Yes, no doubt. His work rate especially.
This is the inside 50 kick we talk about. That's the reason why he was mentioned top 3 this week by Champion Data. Worst kicks inside 50. Neal gets the relieving kick to half forward. Dunkley. It'll be a double whammy if the Lions score from this. Suns with the momentum. Lions taking some heat out of it.
Just watching Oscar McInerney trying to challenge young Ned Moyle. He's dragging him deep forward.
Leicester goes back to Eric.
Yeah, his one-on-one before, which turned into a 2 against 1, was absolutely brilliant. He neutralised, he slipped over, but he got the hand on it to tap it his teammate's way.
Just trying to take the sting out of it at the moment, the Lions. Slow and steady before Berry pulls the trigger. McInerney's down there. He was caught behind. Jeffrey, got to be careful. He was quick, active hands. Away they go. Flanders tried to be a little bit too cute. There was Humphrey. Might have come unstuck. They were over-possessing at the Suns. And here's the 2-time Brownlow medalist who can pounce for the Lions. Good spoil from Moyle. Well done on the youngster Smith, and he sees it over.
Yeah, lifted Brownie. This is a really good contest now.
Trying to get some speed into the game, the Gold Coast Suns. Brisbane obviously just trying to take the gas out of it. They know the Suns are looming up.
Damien Harbuck told his players to grow up 2 weeks ago. He might have reconfirmed his thoughts at half-time. They've lifted. Got their big boy pants on here. Moyle from behind, though. McCluggage chip kick. One-on-one. Archie, the hero last week. Great smother. Again, Ulam paying his way. Been a great pickup. He was carved up earlier this season in a trial game by Charlie Cameron. He had 4 kicked on him before he blinked in the first quarter of, I think, what they called the Bush Turkey game, when the Bush Turkey invaded the field in that trial and they had to stop play. But she's grown since then. Rowell hammers it away. Zorko was down on hands and knees. Humphrey with strength. Blasts it. Hipwood. Right spot. Claims 50. Gets 50. And that hurts. Big time. Because Eric might be within range here.
That's one apiece.
I was going to say, cancels it out.
He's resumed that role on Ben King.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got back on that, so well, this would hurt Ben King if he goes and ties him up for goals.
That would be a win, Brownie.
What's the boys get around him here, Brown, if he kicks this one? Full back.
28 goals, 19 this year. Eric Hipwood sent back today. But now gets a chance to kick one back on Ben King.
He needed too.
Big Eric slots it, and the crowd rise for him.
No worse than feeling, Jared, for a key forward to have a goal kicked on you by your opponent.
We've all been there, Brownie, watching your opponent run back.
He almost forgot where he was, Brown. He went back to run down forward after he kicked his goal and realised, no, I've got to go down back, don't I?
That's right.
It's sloppy, and the coach can't believe it because he knows that they had all the momentum.
Yeah, so just try to just slow it down where they can. So 50 metres against there. Oscar McInerney's been pushing deep forward. Hipwood came up a little bit, playing that really assertive position out in front of Ben King. He's going to back his teammates in and they're going to support if he does get burned out the back, but he'd be happy with that to hit the scoreboard.
A set a piece between those two.
One set apiece, girl.
Okay. Let's see if this
Let's
one
open
goes
to
into a
5-7.
fifth and a decider. Dunkley's going to send them forward. Two Brisbane players in front. Spoilt down from behind. Fletcher goes to ground. Ballard tackled. Punched down by Weller. His second game out back from a second ACL injury. It's an incredible story, Lockie Weller. And his return game last week against the SUNS. Ballard pointing to some directions. Brisbane by 2 at quarter time and then by 17 at half time. Two ruck in a wrestle. Pile of players on there, a tangle of arms and legs.
It's living up to the billing now. Big pack around it. Henry Smith, huge job against Wicks. Has the reach and the experience. Flicked it back to Iron Rayner. Cam with his eyes darting. Doctor acquired. McCluggage. Back to Rayner. Starcevich. A bit off the inside kick to Wilmot. Splendid kick.
It's the 21st uncontested mark this quarter, Brisbane, so clearly just trying to control it.
Sits it up long for the leapers to go up. Big fly, Logan Morris. Loban nearly out of nowhere. Collins nearly handed that straight to Archie. They've still got it in front of himself. Hands it up. Shadow Brain. The shrug. The kick. Thumped away. Fletcher. Good second effort. Ashcroft handed it up. Intensity high. Ball up.
They've definitely cranked up the speed dial, the Gold Coast Suns, in this third quarter. Once again, it's Wicks. And it'll be a free kick here to Anderson in his 100th game.
His disposal now this quarter. He's lifted his work rate, no question about that, Cal.
After he had 10 to half-time, Browning. So it's been a great response from him. Johnston in front. It's a wonderful lead. And secure hands.
Yeah, he came from 3 deep. Eric Hipwood was never going to get there. So good mark in front from Johnson, but his man's going to be out the back and dangerous, you suspect.
3-on-3 in this contest, and they kill it over the line, the Lions.
There to go quicker. Ben King was on Shadow Brain there. Different mismatch.
And they should have really orchestrated it so Eric Hipwood wasn't on the mark. And that's crazy stuff.
Lloyd Johnston made his AFL debut under Stephen King last year. The Stuart Dew departed.
Spare player in defence for Brisbane, you can see on the wide shot.
Weller had to get that out. Archie plucked it, wanted to go and row. The tackle machine stops him. Most tackles in the AFL this season. Started the day with 147 ahead of the injured James Rowbottom. Zorko. Here is Johnston on cue. Got it out to Graham, had it. Maybe dropped it deliberately. He knew he was going to be gathered. Roses inside. Off hands. Lukosius. Nice tackle on Leicester. Good spot for a ball up for the Suns.
Well, Hipwood hasn't been afraid to go for his marks there right on the last line. He still had a crack at that mark instead of punching it through. He's played in a positive manner.
Wicks to get it back to 6 points. Humphrey sprays it.
Geez, it was slack stuff though for the Lions to allow Bailey Humphrey out. It was a great little tap to advantage by his captain. And we're going to have a little check. I think Bailey's body language gave it away. He wasn't
Review underway.
excited. Didn't have much to say, Humphrey.
A missed comfortably from my vantage point.
He's reviewing it. Came off the boot very quickly. That's on point. Just checking that it's a point.
allows the Lions to hold it up here and the Suns to set up for the kick in.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball crosses on the behind side of the goalpost. Decision on scoreboard.
Bailey Humphrey just tells him,
What,
didn't you believe me?
What a dog to that. He looked a little bewildered, didn't he? Let's get on with it.
We're not going to get that 20 seconds back, are we?
No, and let's get on with this contest. Brisbane playing for second, Suns playing to keep their season alive, and they have come alive in this all-important third term. Brisbane with possession. Zorko's kick couldn't hit up Archie. Yulin's been impressive. Gives it off to Closey. Roses.
Oh, good tackle. Oh, he made a blue, the great Zorko, and he made up for it. He gave it straight to the Suns. They weren't good enough to make him pay.
His ageless enthusiasm for the game is a joy to watch, unless you're a Suns fan, Dwayne. He's been in everything tonight.
He has, and he loves playing the cute clashes. Does the great Dane. Down the spine they travel. Ashcroft can't handle it. Funneled out to Humphrey, who thinks he owes them one. DeRosas, she got a bit on that, but Starcevic, last line defence.
Played very good.
Cameron trying to get involved there, isn't it?
Oh, he's turned it over. He's been good until he hasn't been. And Humphrey makes the goal umpire dance again to the other side.
Better say, Charlie Cameron going searching for some football. He's only had the 3 disposals today. He's had a tough year. Charlie, it's a horrible mistake kicking out there. Lucky they didn't kick a goal.
It's good pressure though from the Suns. They haven't been able to cash in on it just yet, but they've got inside the heads of the Brisbane Lions.
Can't trap it this time. Fletcher hits up Rayner. He's kicked a couple this afternoon after his 2 last week against the Swans. Danaher sliding in, but over the boundary. So it just feels like we're in a holding pattern at the moment.
It's 32 contested possession, as Brownie was talking about at half-time, to 23, so it's +9 after being, what was it, -10, Brownie?
Yeah, they were -24 in the first half. That's a shellacking, but they've fought back hard, led by Anderson especially.
Neil, Ashcroft, skies the ball. They all run and jump off Rayner's hand to Fletcher, and again Rao with another tackle.
But they really had to do it because that's what happened in round 8. The Lions midfield were too strong for them, so they needed a response here.
Rao in the thick of it. The big O stole it. Almost Powell. Ball off a high anyway. Will Powell wants the corridor. Great kick, Jeffrey. Turns and goes. Waste no time. Johnston, little kick to Humphrey, who does owe them one. He maybe owes them 2. But he can kick 1 here at least.
Well, Will Powell's that player they've been desperate to get back into the side because he just makes good decisions coming out of the back line, and that one is an example of it. Just sets them up.
A bit of second-year blues for Bailey Humphrey. Kicked 6, 2022, had a fantastic 2023.
I like his quarter, Dwayne. I know he's missed a couple of half chances, but he has given them a spark.
Never goes out of chance, and that doesn't score. Worst possible result.
That's a good one. Kicks to that goal. Suns players.
Hipwood got a couple of groin issues or a hip issue.
Get down to Moons very shortly on that one as Brisbane with possession. Pryor goes for a bit of a trot and then delivers as long as he can. A sit from Rayner. Seen him do that a few times before.
So, Brownie, if Hipwood goes down, what's the backup plan?
Yeah, well, Joe Danaher has offered to go back there. Danaher's required up the other end, I would have thought. So they're going to have the smaller guys play taller. So Lester, Starcevic, maybe Pryor, these guys are going to be oversized.
I thought Lynchy might have been a chance here in the week.
Lynchy's pulled out of today as well.
See that.
Brownie Danaher as a line. He's had 486 disposals inside forward 50. As the Suns go inside 50 again. Wilmot streaming away, the looping handball. We'll get back to that stat in a minute. They're using the centre corridor here, Brisbane. Lohman flies. He was caught in a sun sandwich. He does well to hold it up. Desperate lunge. Ballard, Flanders. Ballard turning, out of trouble. Johnston, looping handball. Holman, good little hand, clever in there. 50-50 ball now, up for grabs. Big ball to be won. Does he tuck it back in under? The umpire says, yes, Dunkley, you did.
That's the rule. Seems unjust at times, but he worked pretty hard, but he dragged it in. Umpire made the right call.
Holman wide. Leicester got up with a fist, but couldn't kill it. Flanders. Umpire said didn't have prior and made an attempt to kick it.
Fair enough too.
There is the other one. I think he'd go back if required, if Hipwood wasn't able to come back on.
Which knocks it to the boundary.
So that's stat. Dwayne. Danaher as a line, he's had 486 disposals inside the forward 50. He's had 36 disposals inside the defensive 50.
There you go. Well, he was named. Chris Fagan did prove that he's got a sense of humour. He named Joe Danaher full back in the team this week.
And he flagged it in his media conference this week, said Big Joe might go there.
He says he doesn't have a sense of humour, Chris Fagan. Flanders caught, got it out.
Got to be careful the spare.
Graham goes. Good central kick. Options are plenty long. Front on contact. Not paid. Wow. Cameron got back in defence. High ball. Collins couldn't spot it to advantage. Bailey. Rayner gets back. Caught by the Dax. Feeds it to Lohman. Little flick on. Didn't have a man there. Can drag down again. And we'll get a ball up.
Whoever invented the Sharon was a very nasty person. How did that not bounce up for Rayner man?
Wits down the throat of Flanders. Chance here for the Suns, but it's stolen by Lohman. Off to Morris. Morris with the snap hits the post. Gee, they're keeping the door open here for the Gold Coast Suns. Jeffrey, it was that panicked in the moment. And Powell with the quick kick into Closey.
Great effort by Ewell there to put the smothering pressure on there. He's had a good quarter, Ewell, and he's a real goer.
Draws the defender to Andrew. He was looking for Johnson, wasn't he? But Zorko, he's found plenty of that yellow Sharon this evening. Archie on the build-up.
Reminds me of Craig Bradley when after about 300 games he went to half-back and just proved if you can read the ball well, you can get 35 possessions at will.
Cameron with his fourth disposal of the day. Zorko looking to set them up again. Wilmot have gone to switch to the near side. Bailey can lope it over the top to Berry.
They really did build that up nicely. Just need a finish now. They might just need it, Brownie, because they're running on top of the ground at the present time, the Suns.
Yeah, it's good. This is what the Lions have to do. They need to try and take some sting out of the game. We know the Suns want to keep the game quick. Plenty of handballs as well. Keep the ball moving. The Lions want to slow it down. They've taken now all the way up to 34 uncontested marks this quarter. The Suns have taken it.
Berry lining up for his first goal of the afternoon. 45-degree angle. Just a question of accuracy, and it's inaccurate. It's going to land in, and Collins slaps it over in true fullback style.
They've given themselves a chance, the Suns, so they're within striking distance, no question about it. Brisbane had a really hard game last Sunday against Sydney.
Almost turned that over. Howe off hands Berry. 1 minute left. Neal feeds it on. Morris centering kick. He opens it up to Dunkley, who flies. Archie crumbs. Charlie, he has hardly seen it, and he gets it through. A Charlie Cameron moment again.
Great work by Archie. Brilliant finish from Charlie, and he kept his head in the game, but in the Bunnings build-up, you can see that the turnovers cost you, and he kicked it to a 4-on-2. And then this is pretty clever play from this young fellow. He's always disciplined out, and that was clever from Calamachi. Great goal from Charlie. 4 kicks, 2 goals for Charlie.
Got footy smarts like him, Morris.
Yes.
Footy IQ, you're in the centre of the ball. And Archie's been an important player as well. He can put down the other end of the ground. He's competed well aerially, not allowing too many intercept marks. Mac Andrew looked very dangerous early in the game, but we've just been able to reduce that number as the game went on the lines.
Final minute before three-quarter time. Can they snare one here, the Suns? Belief. Closey, stripped. Archie, tackle.
Missed the handball option.
Rao. Got plenty of time. Looking inside 50 with intent. Boyd flew up. Johnston rather. And it was Brain. Flares it wide. Does it sit here?
That's clever.
Well done. Fantastic by Jeffrey. Kept it in play. Unkind bounce for the Suns. Brain. Straight down the throat of Rayner.
Made a couple of mistakes early, Brian, but gee, he's been impressive, Brownie, in his few games this year.
He really has. The silver lining for all the Lions' injuries at the start of the year, they're able to expose these younger fellas to come into the team, learn and play more.
So the Brisbane Lions continue to have the answers. And they're well on top of little brother. But there is still a quarter to play. And they're playing for their seasons, the Suns. They have not lost at home at People First Stadium in 2024. Can they come back from a 19-point deficit? 10-10, 70 Brisbane. Suns 7-9, 51.
All right, there we go, folks. End of the third quarter. We've got the final quarter to come up in just 5 minutes' time. The Lions by 19. As I said in the chat, I'll tell you what, the decisions aren't going the way of the Gold Coast Suns with the umpires. They definitely had a free kick, about 15 metres straight out in front of goal, and the umpires did not pay it. So that could have been a 2-goal turnaround. That could have been an extra goal to the Suns and a -1 goal to the Lions. But that being said, that's history. We've got a quarter to go. Let's have a quick look and have a look at the players' stats as we go into three-quarter time. Lachie Neale and Zorko still on top, 30 and 28. Lachie Neale, 12 kicks, 18 handballs, 6 marks, 4 tackles, 8 clearances. Dane Zorko, pretty well, maybe best on ground at the moment with 28, 25 kicks. Holy moly, 3 handballs, 11 marks, 3 tackles. He's doing his great job down back. Sam Flanders best for the Suns on 25. Josh Dunkley, 22. Cam Rayner, 21. A lot of players there in the Brisbane Lions with the disposal high. Let's go down. We'll have a look at your favourite player and see what their possessions are getting. Will Ashcroft, 16. McAndrew, 13 still. Zach Bailey on 12. David Swallow, still quiet, only the 9. Eric Hipwood went off, got a little bit of a rub on the hip. Hopefully we'll see him back on the ground in the final quarter. Joe Danaher, a little bit quiet in that third, still with the 7 touches, still with the 2-2. Charlie Cameron came in with a late goal, drilled it through the big sticks for his second, only 4 kicks. Let's go and have a look at the goal scorers of the match. Who's leading that? Cam Rayner is leading with Hugh McCluggage, don't forget your luggage, and of course Joey Danaher with 2, and Charlie Cameron, 4 players each of 2 for the Brisbane Lions. We've got Witts, Rose, Long, King, Holman, Graham, Flanders, 1 each for the Suns and 1 for Eric Hipwood. Zach Bailey also. Just have a quick look at the fantasy points. If you play the game, Dane Zorko, 125 leading the way with Lachie Neale. Second on 105. Darcy Wilmot, 91. McCluggage, 90. The rest under that. Going not too bad. Have a bit of a look, see how much time we've got left. We've got a couple of minutes. We'll have a look at the team stats after. Let's just have a look at the live ladder at the moment. The live ladder as it stands, if this game stops, Brisbane will go to second on 50, percentage 119. Now in the other game that's been played at the moment, that's between St Kilda and Essendon over at Marvel Stadium there in Melbourne. three-quarter time there, or just started the fourth quarter at St Kilda. Big leaders, 15-4, 94, kicking straight to Essendon, only 6-7, 43. Got a 51-point lead has St Kilda, so they look like they will win that game. Looking at the live ladder, I think after this round, Essendon will drop out of the top 8. That's not looking good for the Bombers fans. Gold Coast still on 36, so they really need this win today to keep their season chances alive. As I said, they haven't been beaten at home, the Gold Coast, this year. Could today be the first time that happens? We're only a minute away from the bounce to the third quarter. T-Dane Bem Bem, mega love shout out, Guap. Thanks for being in here. The manager, Pauline Asia. So far this year's mark of the year, either Jamie Elliott or Bobby Hill. Tell you what, let's hope one of them win, or let's hope Howe takes another screamer, has another chance. I tell you what, he's always in the running for mark of the year, Jeremy Howe, but for some reason, I don't know, he just seems to get overlooked. All right, we've got about 35 seconds left until the bounce of the third quarter. We're going to take you back down to the grounds to the commentators, and then they'll take us into the final quarter, which it should be a cracking match. And tell you what, 19 points the lead by Brisbane. I still can't pick a winner. Still can't pick a winner. If the Gold Coast Suns, they had plenty of run, they had their chances in that quarter. If they have their chances and they grab it with both hands, we could have a real ring-a-ding-ding game here. All right, folks, enjoy the final quarter. Gold Coast Suns taking on the Brisbane Lions.
Let's look. Can't wait.
Okay, they're going for 8 straight here. Witt's very animated in the huddle then, Jonathan Brown, but the most animated player in the opening half was Dane Zorko.
Most animated in the competition, Dane Zorko has been on fire, hasn't he? 28 disposals. 25 of those kicks at 84% now. The all-time record this century is 36 kicks. He had 35 in the round 8 clash against the Suns. Can he pick up another 10? The Suns need to get their hands on the ball. They've had 100 less disposals than the Brisbane Lions.
And the DJ, obviously up for the moment, living on a prayer, blasting out 19-point margin as the siren sounded to get the final term underway. Graham pumps it. Holding free. Arcevic ball.
That's just giving the ball back when the heat's on. You've got your first centre clearance. It's inside your forward 50 and a sloppy free kick against.
Darkly and Weller bouncing on it was Fletcher. Looked around, knew he had Ballard covered. Heads long. Charlie, not quite. Lohman might. Shrugs, looks around, gives it to Cameron. He knows where they are. Sized it all up and missed to the near side.
Yeah, lucky there, Will Powell. He went to ground. I think he might have rolled his ankle or hurt his leg, and he just couldn't get up and go with Charlie Cameron, who knew he exploited that.
Newland on the kicking duties.
Push the back. Brisbane.
Just quick one down here, guys. Both subs have been made, both tactical. Berry on for Moyle and Brain off with McKenna coming on for Brisbane.
So Tom Berry, the younger brother of Jared Berry, in his third Q clash against his brother, as Leicester sends it forward yet again. Huge pack, quick hands. Archie would have gone for it. Instead, Dunkley dribbles it through. That's pure.
This won't go down as a stat, Jared, but Cam Rayner's fly at the ball. His impact and his presence at the moment is second to none in the competition. Just great fly, creates the drop, goal follow up there by Dunkley, who's had a fantastic game again today.
Yeah, my man Big Henry, he was the one who gave out the handball, Brownie. Glad they played him back to back. Good.
Biggest mark of the game to either team. And the Suns' finals chances hanging by a thread. Can still have their best ever season and improve without making finals. 12th, the highest the club has ever finished, and they're 12th now. This one not over, but it's a handy 26-point margin to the Lions. Out to inflict the first loss on the Suns. this season here at People First Stadium. Now they're just reviewing that to see if it clipped the post. And there's AFL edge from the arc. And that indicates that maybe
decision on scoreboard
been clipped.
The goal flag got clipped last night. That was the point. Back of the padding, it has to go completely over the line and miss all parts of the post, including the flag. Just shots there earlier too. Mac Andrews down in the forward line. So it's been a positional shift there by Damien Hardwick at three-quarter time. Mac Andrews forward.
That's good work by the edge. I'm not sure how the goal umpire missed it. He couldn't have been in a better spot.
Now, heads long. He's got Wits under it. Lester went with the fist. Safety first. Archie got it on the boot as quick as he could. Closely. Outnumber on the wing. Lions had the numbers. Neil takes a saving mark. And with each passing second, they're closer to second on the AFL ladder, the Lions.
Great communication there between Neil and the Big O. The O just, he knew he was behind him. He pushed his man up under the ball and allowed Lockie Neil to take a chest mark.
From round 14, they were 13th. They went to 10th, to 8th, to 7th, to 4th, to 3rd. And a win here will take them to 2nd. Dunkley inside 50, bouncing ball, couldn't trap it, Joe. Powell, Swallow, Anderson, Flanders, Casual, comes off. Here's a chance for Berry. Running forward. The two team up, the two ponytails, Weller, back to Berry.
Just got to finish now. They're running on top of the ground, and that's the way they can beat the Brisbane Lions.
King, like something in the pocket. It was Humphrey, but waiting out the back is Rosas. And they eat into that margin.
They're still in this, Brownie, as long as they believe and they just start running. Because the Lions were just looking like they wanted to slow the game down. They ended up with Eulers going back to make a 3-on-2. That was really important at the other end of the ground, and then they just controlled it. The run from behind wasn't there from Brisbane, so psychologically, they think this game is just about done. They might be able to just snag a couple in a row here.
There's no question, I think Damien Hardwick would have reminded the Suns players that the Lions were in a war last Sunday against Sydney, and a lot of sore boys just talking to some of the Lions players. They were really banged up, so I'm sure he would have reminded him of that. Bailey Humphries played nearly his best game, I think, this year. We saw him in that marking contest there. Rose's good finish.
A minute ago, the margin was 26 points. The footy gods intervened. A goal at the other end, and now a chance to add to it. Wits, Oscar McInerney, Rao, hunted, brought down. Ashcroft, poised as always. Archie, a floater, and getting back to take the mark as Powell again to set it up. Still an eternity left.
Player on Cam Rayner.
Takes some time. And danced nicely into some space. Hands it up. Jeffrey, wide ball. Needs to hit a target, does. Long. Chip kick. Beautifully delivered to Andrew, who's been sent forward. A good move here by Damien Hardwick. Releasing the man that could be the difference maker. Sends it long towards King. Manhandled under it. Almost dragged it to the deck. Berry dives in through his legs. Wilmot pumps it away. They've got the wall set up. Little floater. Jeffrey. Good collect.
They want to try and save this game too early, the Lions, Brownie.
Well, they kicked the first two after half-time to close within 6 points.
That's a little one for Rao here. Rao has been out for the last 2 minutes.
A chance to kick the first two here. King. Roses smacked it back into Archie's face. 50-50 ball. Well done by Jeffrey. He spins. He delivers over the head of Humphrey. Flying for it was Berry. Lines with the numbers. Berry applies the tackle. It affects the kick. Berry. This is the Brisbane line. Berry, the older brother, to Danaher. Had a bounce. New Rayner was running out wide. Feeds it to him. The delivery inside 50's not great. Ballard. Easy pickings. And they can go quickly. See if they can catch the line snapping.
Great chase by Weller. Pressurised the kick.
It's been important his return, Dwayne. That's a good point. It's very important his return. Not only on the offensive transition, but his ability to run back and help defend.
Powell. Just need a hero or two here. The Suns. Q-Class 27. Big crowd. Biggest crowd they've ever had here on the Gold Coast for a Q Clash. Big brothers come to town. Lions have won 19, the Suns 7. Not a lot they have had go their way so far in this one. The Suns, the Lions have led at every change, but they've got some momentum back. Chip kick, Jeffrey. Long, turns, looks, spear pass. Lukosius hasn't seen a lot of it, but he can be a low possession, big impact player.
Brownie Jeffrey's done a few little nice things through the middle of the ground, hasn't he, with his foot?
Yeah, I've liked the look of him, no doubt about it. He looks like he's on top of the ground. He's dynamic. Good setup there. So the Suns forwards drag back deeper, allowed that leading space. Kick there by Long.
6-kick game for Jack Lukosius. Momentum in his hands. And it's across the face, and that hurts.
10 goals. No, it's now 8 goals, 10. There's some set shots today.
But if they can just keep the pressure on, Brownie, they're running much better than the Suns, than the Lions at the moment.
McKenna, the sub, brings it in. Dunkley goes to ground. Lukosius swoops.
Good tackle.
Umpire says play on. Suns there with numbers. Rao, Flanders could give it wide to Lukosius. He does. In the end, Humphrey says, thanks, I'll snaffle it. Wants to get back on his right. Handballs to Lukosius. Does he go for home? Does he go for the magical one? Or does he go for King in the opposite pocket?
It's quite Loman, Brandon. Dead set found a ripper there. Yeah. Worked his way right down into defence. And luckily he did, because Ben King would be having another shot. But he's got really good quick hands and makes good decisions 90% of the time.
Yeah, had a huge last quarter against West Coast a few weeks ago when they were challenged.
Could still win the Rising Star this year, Kyle Loman. Ball funneled out into a good spot. Little fumble from Berry. And the little things are becoming big things now with 13 and a half minutes left. Zorko. Berry caught. Flicked it away. Here is Loman. Got it back. Flings it over his head. That was amazing to Archie. Down the line towards Joe. Can't quite run back onto it. Might still steal it. He might beat 3 here, Joe. Little toe poke. Phenomenal. And now he's jumped on. And he's got it. And he ducked his head. Not ball. Play on. Here is Kyle Loman. On the run. Dart ball. Logan Morris. Freak show from the Lions there.
Well, Joe thought he was at the Euros there for a period of time. He was terrific the way he just kept on winning that ball. Finally flicked it to a teammate. Kyle Loman, well, he had a fumble at the other end of the ground, but he just kept running to get back involved. And there's your little over the top. Set up a shot at goal. I think that was a good decision by the umpire. Joe just ducked his head.
They found a good one in Kyle Loman. They found a good one in Logan Morris, but he can't extend the margin to 20. But it's 15 points, 12 minutes left. Suns season still hanging by a thread.
Powell straight down the corridor. He's looking for Andrew Wilmot. Holds his ground.
No, Cal, he's got to fly. That's what he's there for. He can't allow that to be an uncontested mark to Darcy Wilmot. They're clearly going in his direction.
Starcevic, McKenna, who's got the fresh legs, pumps it long. Flying up was Ulam for the spoil. Graham, off hands Flanders. Weller, Hewland. They've got some real run and confidence about their move forward now. Rao holds it up.
They'll hold him up, yeah. They want to flick that handball on.
Eventually he does to Weller. Just dabs it down the line. Andrew from behind does well in the end to flick it down. Here's Berry. Dropped it was Powell. Before he had it, Berry slides in. Might come off here for the Suns. Anderson toe pokes it. They need a strike of luck. Lukosius goes to ground. He's bumped off it. Andrews well off it. Oh, McKenna. That's wonderful stuff by Anderson in his milestone game. Keeps it alive. Deep inside 50. They trap it. Anderson piles on it.
Yes, great smother by Anderson.
Ball up top of the goal square for the Suns.
See, they get this next goal. She's on.
Lions with the lead. Suns with the crowd. Berry caught. Andrew a little knock back. Graham wrapped up. Good spot for a ball up though, and he's hurt himself a little here. Keep an eye on Will Graham. Game 13 for him. Big moment. Wits goes and gets his own ball. The co-captain flicks it up to Long. Unselfish. Holman. Unselfish. Good collect from Berry. Inside kick is horrible. Straight to Dunkley.
Wasting these opportunities. This quarter inside 50s now. 8-7 in their favour, the Gold Coast Suns, but only one goal won.
So Brisbane been on top for most of the afternoon. Their biggest lead was 21 points earlier this quarter, but the Suns are not giving up. And Weller this time to Andrew. Oh, he's in position A. Hurried kick at the back of the pack. It's going to roll through for a behind.
What about Andrew though? Presented full-chested. Just couldn't quite complete that mark.
Looks dangerous though, Brownie.
Does, yeah. He's just got to put himself in as many contests as possible. That's what he's down there for. Send a lot of traffic through him. He's going to clunk one, but at least it caused the drop of the ball.
Bailey wide to Jarrah Berry. Time on their side. A lot of time to be taking off the clock. This slow play. Archie floats in. Can't mark it. Ball flick to the boundary. Lions on their past 7 games in a row. Best win streak in the AFL. Chris Fagan's team, hottest team in the comp. His 8th season as coach. Chris Fagan, finals the past 5 years. Grand final last season. He was a kick away from being a premiership coach. Huge moment here for his Lions. They can grab second spot on the ladder with a win. High. Advantage paid. Weller feeds it on. Flanders, can he find a target out wide? He's got Berry on the run. The knock-on was to disadvantage. And Lester coolly drifts his way out and disguised it well enough.
Not a bad result for the Suns. They've got it deep. McAndrew up forward. Never kicked one goal in his career. Rao going backwards to Holman. Wonderful smother by Dunkley. Oh, it's too high.
That boy must have seen something.
Yeah.
What a high for a kick for a smother. He's had another tremendous game, Josh Dunkley. One of the great workers in the competition.
Danaher's there. Collins, his direct opponent, comes over the top with the spoil that ricochets down to Tom Berry. Sends it inside 50. Oh, Lester up over the top. No Harris Andrews. He's taken on the leadership down back. And that was a timely mark. It'll go Brisbane's way. Pryor.
Good job, Pryor, coming back on the other side.
All the answers so far. The Lions.
Right, Lester. They're 10 one-year contracts in a row.
199th game for Ryan Lester. His 200th next week against St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. And here he is on cue as we sing his praises.
Probably got to press up a bit, don't they, Brownie? The Suns, they can't allow this all this weight to attack.
Yeah, Brisbane will chew you up. They just keep taking uncontested marks.
Hipwood wide, McCluggage's target. That's a mark. Play on. Jeffrey to Anderson. Can he find a target with an inside 50 kick? Lukosius, King. Starcevic pounced. He dropped it. No free. Rao. This is huge for Matt Rao. Stakes are high. He delivers.
Brisbane just flagging now energy level-wise, Jared. We spoke about this game last Sunday against Sydney. It was a war of attrition, really. You just tell the Suns are all over them now from a running point of view. The Lions are obviously trying to slow it up. But every time it pops into a turnover situation, the Suns can just get them on the spread. This time they're able to complete and finish.
Yeah, I don't like it, what I'm seeing here, Brownie, if you're a Brisbane Lions fan. When you go into conservation mode, it's okay if you've got the footy, but the chase and the tackle and the harassment drops off if the other side gets the ball. And Matty Rowell, he can sniff it, he can smell a win. And so can all his teammates. So they need to find another gear, Brisbane, or they're going to chop up a game that they've had in control for most of the afternoon.
Lions going up and down in quicksand, a bit like the Blues last night, coming off that 5-day break.
Yeah, spot on, Cal. Very much similarities there. So what can they do to try and control the game?
Well, Mac Andrew into the ruck.
Yeah, Mac Andrew started down back. He's been up forward. Now he's in the ruck. Lions win the clearance, though. McCluggage skies it. Ballard reads it beautifully. Still plenty of time in this one. Margin is 18 points. Brisbane led by as much as 21 earlier in this quarter. Anderson, Holman. They've got this game on their terms. Question is the accuracy and can they add the finishing touches?
It's pretty quiet at the present time, but I'll tell you what, they get the next one in a hurry. The Suns supporters will find their voice.
Shorts it to Flanders. Slow and steady on this build-up. Powell had the job on Charlie Cameron this afternoon. And he's opened the door here. He follows up with a huge tackle. It's going to go to Charlie Cameron. Could have given it off to Loman. Instead he goes to Danaher. Loman might get on the end of it anyway. And Ballard bears down. Ballard grits his teeth.
Good quarter, Ballard.
Oh, gee. They're very generous there, the umpire.
He didn't really make an attempt.
No attempt whatsoever. He's smashing the ball into the ground without never wanting to get rid of it.
If you can fake sincerity, you got it made. He faked. He was trying to get it out. Had no intention. Johnston gets it out wide and gets it out with insufficient intent. Maybe. Umpire says toss it in because Flanders was close enough.
So Jared, he's gone in with Witts and he's gone in with Moyle, and yet he's got Mac Andrew in the ruck. There's the tackle call.
Yeah, there's the tackle. That is just a nonsense.
Why is Mac Andrew in the ruck?
Well, because at this stage, Cal, they're looking for a little bit of inspiration. They're not getting it from either of the two recognised ruckmen, and Mac Andrews is great at ground level as well.
Cam Rayner heads toward goal. Post. Some little things going the Suns' way at the moment. Behind doesn't matter. It's still a two-kick game, and it gives the ball back to the Suns with 6 minutes left.
Suns led by 5 points. That was their biggest lead at the 8-minute mark of the second term. Remember, they held off Collingwood here in a thriller earlier in the season. They'd come from behind to beat West Coast as well.
These people have good effort.
Wilmot somehow manages to get it clear. Good hands to be in. McCluggage pumps it long. Danaher, Yulin putting his body on the line. He's reckless, but he's desperate, the youngster.
Yeah, he's a good young player. Yeah, really like the way he goes about it. I know his coach does. He's courageous, often has a tough matchup each week, a really dangerous forward. He's had a good second half especially. Good job on Rayner there. It's important to watch Rayner. He's the match winner for the Lions.
He's given Sam Collins a few ear massages on the way through.
Oscar McInerney easily beats Andrew. Loman gets it, plucks it. Something from nothing. He's jagged at Loman. What a revelation he's been for the Brisbane Lions this year. Continues to blossom before our very eyes. And that is deflating for the home team.
He ended up on his own too, just that no one on him just ran through there. We saw this in the last quarter against West Coast a few weeks ago, where he lit up, he kicked 2 goals late. He's a dynamic player and he knows where the goals are. He's got great goal sense, he's got a great sense of the occasion.
I think you're right with that, Brownie. He's a big moment specialist.
Yeah.
He senses it and he rises to it.
Don't you love that in a young player, Dwayne?
27th game for Kyle Lohman. Again, picked 2020-21. This is his third season, but because he had only played 8 games before this season, he's still eligible to win the Rising Star this year. He's played every game this year. Still time enough. They need 3 goals in 5.5 minutes. And Witts gets the clearance inside 50. Humphrey, it was there for him. Pryor, out wide. A little roller towards the boundary, and it's going to maybe give the umpire a decision to make here. Insufficient intent. Hewlett. Time enough if they're good enough, but are they good enough? Suns have never played finals in their history. King gets there, but way late. Force the ball out of play, and we'll get a ball in.
This is where Brisbane can now get numbers beyond the play. So they've got that 15-point lead, 5 minutes to go, get their numbers down. Still got 4 forwards ahead of the ball, but their half forwards will start to creep closer. Just try and create multiple stoppages here in a row.
1 goal 3 for Ben King this afternoon and a miss. Witts back into the ruck. Anderson.
Brisbane have been very good at this. Since they lost the round or the opening round game against the Blues by a point, the Lions have won a lot of 20-point and under games.
Lost their first 3 games, the Brisbane Lions, 5 of their first 7. Closing in on 8 straight, a one-on-one. This is Charlie's time. Well done by Collins. The bearded fullback comes across and makes sure Charlie doesn't get any space. Remains cool in a crisis. Swallow. Powell. Handball to no one in particular. Luggage comes in. That's a dangerous tackle by Graham. A slinging tackle. Did McCluggage's head smash into the turf?
Umpire Matthew Nichols was right there and said no. Got some experience on his side as well, Matthew Nichols. The roar around People First Stadium. Time elapsing, and Eric Hipwood sent back has done the job so far. Another 4.5 minutes to negotiate. He goes wide to Dunkley. The usual suspects. Josh Dunkley, another big afternoon at the office. Zorko, another huge game. Possession 30 for him. To Leicester, the resurrection story of the year. If he can get a flag. Oh, the umpire called it a mark for Zorko, and he dropped it. Ulam gets there and he kills it with a fist, and we're down to 4 minutes. 15 points to margin. Well, the umpire is a bit stiff there. Zorko hasn't dropped the ball like that since he was 23.
Brisbane by 2 at quarter time, by 17 at half time, by 19 at 3/4 time. The goal to Matt Rowell got them within 8 points. The margin currently 15, but they're running out of time. Lockie Neal. Up and under Joe. Couldn't quite get there. Well done by Ewan again, putting his body on the line. Is that deliberate? Joe's asking the question. The umpire ignores him. And the chewing gum is getting a fierce workout by Chris Fagan right now. Danaher's booted the 2 goals. Rayner with 2, McCluggage with 2, Charlie Cameron with 2. McInerney. Neal's there. Clever little flick out, although the umpire says it'll be a free kick going to Neal.
Well, he would have been filthy with himself, Lockie Neal, because he did have a fumble. But then he quickly tracked the footy again and found it. Got a head-high tackle, it appears. So he can go back and probably seal the victory.
He's had another good game, bounced back. He was quiet last week, Jerry, against Sydney, which is probably good signs for the Lions that they weren't relying on him, but he's had a fantastic, probably last 2 months of football. Would have voted a lot in the Brownlow medal.
He's had the former Suns captain for company all afternoon. Lockie Neal swallows up that goal from directly in front. And Big Brother's done it again against Little Brother.
Yeah, really mature effort by the Brisbane Lions. They have just dropped into this incredible passage of form. Let's have another look here from Lockie Neal. And essentially he was taken down without having the ball. And the free kick was paid, and fair enough too. He went back and made him pay, just to top off a fantastic afternoon.
And you mentioned Chris Fagan chewing the chewy a little harder. They lost this game. The Lions finals would not be assured. You're probably going to need 13 and a half wins to make the finals this year. This win will take them to 12 and a half and take them to second. But as you can see with the ladder, would have been a massive difference for the Lions had they lost this game. They've come to town and on track to inflict the first loss, home loss of the season on the Suns. And McCluggage doing McCluggage kind of things, got the clearance, got it inside 50, Swallow dropped it, Ballard tries to get it away, back to Hugh, hassling, Fletcher, still full of run the kid, gave it to Hugh, out of bounds, would have been a win, gave it to Zorko, have another possession, Dane, goes long, Archie flew, wanted to put a finishing touch on it, but Ashcroft can, he can put the cherry on top, game 23 for Will Ashcroft, and they've got some kids with some ticker and some skill.
Yeah, they're going nowhere. They've just got a platform which they can continue to have cracks at the premiership. Jasper Fletcher, I think, has continued to improve. This guy's going to get so much better. He's still coming back from the reconstruction, and he hasn't been quite as clean in the clinches as he was this time. Well, last year, early in the piece, where he's absolutely dominant, but he can only get better. His brother will join him next year.
Yes. Heads toward goal for the cherry on top. He took 30 seconds off the clock, and that was almost as good as a goal anyway.
Grew up on the Gold Coast until he was about 14. Said he dreams of winning the Marcus Ashcroft medal one day. Gerard, named after his dad.
I suspect he'll probably get there at some stage.
He won it last year, actually.
He did.
Andrew in front, outmarking Leicester.
He's a rare talent, this kid. He's going to, not sure where he's going to finish up playing, but he's going to be a beauty, McAndrew.
Prior season over, so Duke Miller's won 4 Marcus Ashcroft medals, but obviously he's not out there tonight. And there's Stewie Jew. Maybe the last laugh. I'm not sure about that reception from Gold Coast Suns fans, although interesting. 12 months is a long time in footy, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Danaher in a one-on-one, goes to ground, Rayner.
He's played well, Rayner, again.
So
hasn't he?
good.
2 weeks in a row.
So too is his teammate McCluggage. Out of bounds on the full, we'll give him that one.
Ominous going into September.
Yeah, he does look great, Brownie. That guy in the crowd probably should have thrown his old Sharon back in and kept that new one.
Always thinking, Grind, I'll throw you one of the greats.
Newland. And the Lions chant rings around People First Stadium. That'll hurt the Suns hearing that. Handover, Berry flicks it. Neil for a finishing touch. Archie, who put the finishing touch on it last week. Inside kick is delightful. He had options at plenty. It was a raffle. And Josh Dunkley pulled out the winning ticket.
They're a very well-drilled side. They play selfless footy, the Brisbane Lions, always looking after each other. It's a great audit for the Suns, though, Brownie. I think they all know, in particular the club itself, that they're a few players short, particularly through the middle of the ground. That second and third rotation, need a little bit more polish in there.
Yeah, got a few players missing on the side. You're right, they miss Miller. Young Rogers has shown some really good signs.
Possession 31 for Josh Dunkley. Puts a cherry on top. And to the rest of the teams hunting finals, welcome to your nightmare. The Lions have won their last 8 games in a row, and they're up to second on the AFL ladder. Performances by your old team, Brownie, when you consider all the injuries that they had early in the season.
And then all the injuries they had just prior to this game, losing a couple of key defenders, and to be able to find another couple of pieces to fill in the puzzle, and everybody lifting around and having some young kids like Emery there, and Hipwood going back, doing a good job. Pryor comes in. And
one of the gutsiest wins. One of the gutsiest wins of the season, no question about that. And one of the gutsy players down there is Dane Zorko, talking to Cam Mooney.
Thank you, Brownie. Brownie was just saying it's one of the gutsiest wins for the season. Fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, with the person that we lost last week, and that game to go to the wire, and Harris goes down with concussion. Darren Joyce broke his jaw in the first minute last week, so we knew we were going to be up against it, but it was a really good challenge for us. And we said before the game we just wanted to be there for each other, keep working really hard for each other, and tonight we did that, and I'm so proud of the boys.
When Eric Hipwood got named down as fullback, what was your first thoughts?
We were coming up, all the players were coming up with ideas through the week how we're going to get through this, but he was fantastic. He just did what he had to do for us. We knew he's trialled it at times during pre-season, so we knew he was capable of it, and he wasn't overawed by the occasion. So, and then to get a goal as well, he was pretty happy with that. So yeah, we're pumped that he was able to fill that role.
It's fair to say you got a little bit of help from yourself. Great spoil down here, and then the carry-on. What was that?
Well, we spoke all the week that we had to be there for each other, and 1.5 had to be really important. And I came from the far wing to get there, but the boys, we said we're going to celebrate those little wins tonight, and I thought we did that all over the ground superbly.
Last one. From the start of the year to now sitting second on the ladder, did you think this would happen?
Yeah, well, we were slow. There's no denying that, but we had really great belief in our game plan that it could still match it with the best, and we just weren't kicking goals early on, unfortunately. So that seemed to have changed a little bit. We're getting plenty of shots on goal now, and our forwards are putting it through, and they're giving us a really great contest, which has been unreal. So, we had belief inside, and now we can just keep rolling on.
You're the scariest team in the AFL right now, mate. Good luck.
Cheers. Thanks.
So, from 0-3, Jared, and behind the 8 ball, to 8 straight. They have skyrocketed into second spot, and they'd have to emerge now as a premiership favourite, considering Sydney's lost 3 of its last 4. The Blues dropped 1 last night.
Yeah, the Blues looked terrible last night, Kel, you're right. Sydney, well, they've got a big game tomorrow up against the Bulldogs, who themselves are looking red hot. But a great effort by Chris Fagan, who has got other issues at play. We all know that, but he's kept his nerve. And he was challenged a couple of times when he wasn't as critical as some would have liked him to be early in the season, but he kept positive and has been proven to be 100% correct.
Oh, absolutely, he's fantastic. And he spun the magnets around, no doubt. It's one of the boys that went down the other end was Eric Hipwood of Cam Mooney.
Well, Graham, we're just talking about coaches throwing the magnets around, Eric, and yours got thrown around down back. Tell us about the week in the build-up.
I found out quite early in the week, but we had a short turnaround, so there wasn't much thinking involved. Just went down back, and we got such much experience down back, and there was so much pressure on the ball, which made our job a lot easier.
How did you find the first couple of contests, first 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, well, I gave away a 50-metre penalty early on. So, like I said, we've got so much experience down back, so I was able to start cooling. Again, there was so much pressure on the ball, which made our job a lot easier.
What happens next week, mate? Do you stay down or do you head back? What's going on?
No, so we got an 8-day break, which is nice. I'll head home and rest up. It's a nice couple of days off, so yeah, rest up.
Back forward?
Not sure. We'll see.
See what happens?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Mate, it was a fantastic result tonight, mate. You were awesome. Well done, mate. It's a big effort.
Thanks, mate.
So the Brisbane Lions have got St Kilda at Marvel Stadium next week. They've got a pretty handy run home. The Saints, the Giants at the Gabba, Collingwood at the MCG, and Essendon at the Gabba. They couldn't do what Geelong did a couple of years ago, could they?
Oh, there's no doubt they can.
16 in a row they did, Geelong.
Yep.
This team could do 15 in a row in a grand final. Let's get down to the on-field presentation.
All right, there we go, folks. We don't need to listen to the presentation down there on field, but that was the game. The Gold Coast Suns took on the Brisbane Lions at home but failed. The Lions 13-15-93, Suns 9-11-65. Tell you what, they gave it a good old shake, the Suns. I don't think the umpires were too much in their favour. But that being said, the Brisbane Lions, they ran the game out super strong, kicking the final 3 goals of the match. We have to win 3 of the last 4 to have a chance. I don't think so. Yeah, I know. I think we're in trouble, Paul. Think the Magpies are in trouble. Still injury plagued and whatnot. The best they can do is, do the best they can, try and get as many victories as they can, and then start the next year off strongly, a lot better than they did this year. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Who ended up leading the night, and that, of course, was Lachie Neale. They had a crack again, 35, 16 and 19 handballs, 7 marks, 4 tackles, 10 clearances. He probably gets best on ground. Sam Flanders, fantastic there for the Suns with 33 touches. Zorko, next best with 32, and Dunkley 31. They were all instrumental in the game, those players. Rayner, good on 25, Berry 24. McCluggage, don't forget your luggage, 22. As we roll down, you can have a little bit of a look at your stats for your players. It was a great game though. We'll have a look at the ladder in just a moment. As we just roll on down, Ben Long with 11, Zach Bailey 13. Eric Hipwood only the 10, so not sure whether he actually came back on in the final quarter. But he had a quiet game, as did Joe Danaher. Joe Danaher was good in the first half, but then quietened off, of course. But still good. Some good things around the ground did they. Well, let's have a quick look at the goal scoring. See who kicked the goals. That was Malcolm Roas from the Gold Coast Suns. Led the way with 2 goals for the Suns. Cam Rayner, McCluggage, Danaher, and Cameron, 2 each for the Lions. Witts, Rao, Neale, Long, Lohman, King, Holman, Hipwood, Graham, Flanders, Dunkley and Bailey were the single goal scorers of the match. So plenty of goal scorers today. The fantasy points for the game, 139. Zorko tops the table. Lachie Neale second, 129. They led the table pretty much the entire game. Josh Dunkley come home strong, 128. Darcy Wilmot, 114. Flanders, 113. Berry 106, McCluggage 103, Rayner 103, McCluggage 105, I should say. Quick look at the team stats. The Lions got well on top there in the last quarter. 89 disposals in front. That's 78 kicks in front of the Suns. Handballs pretty similar. Inside 50s, 51 to 60. Brisbane way. Gold Coast Suns had plenty of opportunity, but they just could not take their opportunity when it was presented to them. Or they could have quite possibly been in front in that final quarter at some stage. But there we go. Disposal efficiency, not too bad, 70.6, 74. Inside 50s, both above season's average. The free kicks, 20-12, Brisbane Lions favour. And of course, as I said, I think the Gold Coast Suns were hard done by in some of the free kicks. Not being paid when they should have been, which could have resulted in Suns getting an extra couple of goals. The hit-outs, the Suns won that by Big Wixie. Of course, the clearances, the Lions by 12. Centre clearances, pretty even, 9-11. Stoppage clearances, 22-32, Brisbane's way. Contested possessions, the Lions a little bit harder at the ball there. Uncontested, well, they just controlled it a little bit better in that aspect as well. Did the Lions. The turnovers, pretty similar, 66, 67. In the last 10 minutes, the Lions dominated there, 28% to 14% for the Suns. Look at those marks. Wow, 47 more marks to the Lions. Marks inside 50s. Lions 9 and the Suns with 11. The Lions certainly did take their opportunity when it came to contested marks. The Suns again lead that way, 15-7. The tackles, Suns, they'd be pretty happy with that, 57, 51 to the line. Tackles inside 57-3, both well under their season's average. And the 1 percenters, well, they both did their 1 percenters. There we go. Now have a look at the ladder. We reboot the ladder. That should see Brisbane climb the ladder now from about 6 up to second on the ladder with 120. They gain some percentage there, which could be handy at the end of the season. Of course, they are now a half a game clear in second from Carlton, Geelong, Port Adelaide. Fremantle yet to play, that could challenge the Brisbane Lions for that second spot this week. There we go. So the Gold Coast Suns still on 12, 36 points, a game and a half outside of the 8. Essendon losing, so that still gives the Gold Coast Suns a mathematical chance of sneaking into the 8 if they can win the rest of the games for the year. But that is the games. Thanks everyone for coming in. Thanks Paul. Thanks Eddie G. Thanks manager Tine, and everyone else who popped on in. Thanks Ryan. That's about all I got for this one, folks, but we're going to cover the next game coming up very shortly, and that game will be Melbourne taking on the Giants. I was thinking about the Dockers and the Eagles, but I thought that might be just a little bit too one-sided game, where I think Melbourne and the Giants could be a pretty good game. Ciao everyone from Paul, and just having a look at that last result from the votes that came in with 42 votes. 57% of you went for Brisbane Lions. 42% went for the Gold Coast Suns. Their first defeat this season at home for the Suns. Don't be too disheartened. Is that the word? If you're a Sun supporter, they played good footy. I think they just need to be a little bit cleaner going forward. So I think that's what they actually do need in their team. Is just one more target up forward they can go to instead of just Benny King all the time. Especially when Ben he's got the yips, not kicking too straight. They'll certainly be a force to reckon with. Up until the end of the year and next year will the Suns be, but the Lions, I think the Lions will pretty well shortly take over the favourite for the flag. I think they're looking like they could be the team to beat this year after just failing last year in the premiership runners-up. We go, should be a good game. All right, folks, that's it from me. We'll see you in the next one, not too far away. Ciao for now. I'll see you soon.